Major Cider. Calling Major Cider. This is O.R.C.A. We are letting you know that you're going to be late. You'd better get a hurry on, or else the captain's going to find out that you took his fighter.
Yeah, I'm on my way. And don't tell Captain S I took his fighter. Well, that's great. Now I'm definitely gonna be late.
Psych, it doesn't go all the way to 0. Gotcha. Wow, speaking of fake outs, I wish this was a fake out. Help me explain this, nerdigans. Why is McDonald's using Jujutsu Kaisen to advertise garlic sauce?
I have no idea. Like, they're trying to, I think they're just trying to capture the growing anime audience, especially with what McDonald's Japan is doing. I mean, they did Detective Conan. They just did Kiki's Delivery Service.
That was adorable.
That was adorable. It was so cute. But this, it was so cringy.
I don't get it. I don't look at Jujutsu Kaisen and think chicken nuggets. I'm sorry, like chicken tendies doesn't come to my mind when I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like, I don't want to eat when I'm watching that show. Well, I don't know anybody who gets hungry watching that show.
Well, like, neither does Fanta, but we'll see, for the next volume of Jujutsu Kaisen, they did a Fanta, ad for it. And I'm like, dude, that's freaking sick. Like, this is just, like, cringe. And hell, you don't think McDonald's when you think Kiki's Delivery Service or Detective Conan, but they managed to do it. This just feels like so artificial, so meh. And I mean,
Yeah, that's what it is. They're trying to make the Szechuan meme from Rick and Morty apply here, and there's just no connective tissue with it.
I mean, look
Like, yeah,
at the tweet with how they tried to introduce the characters. It was just so cringe.
absolutely. And also like just take for a minute here what we have. This art looks like it's from DeviantArt. This does not look like official art in any way, shape, or form. This looks like, hey guys, I taught myself how to draw, and my art teacher was confused by this piece of art. You know, this is kind of the equivalent of somebody drawing Shrek in their like off time in study hall, you know?
That's
And I
like
just
compared to like Kiki's Delivery Service, where it was something different. It wasn't like a copy and paste. It was like their own spin on Kiki's Delivery Service.
well, we have Caffeinated Wolf here saying Kiki's Delivery Service is a 10 out of 10 and will fistfight anyone who says otherwise. So the Kiki Delivery Service, hopefully that made it to YouTube.
Yeah, it should be on YouTube. It is just so cute. I know some Japanese fans were kind of put off by it because they felt like the soul was kind of sucked out of it. But I mean, it's a
Now,
commercial. So
right,
I mean,
we can't play the audio for you, you know, but we'll show
yeah.
you what we're talking about here. So, you know, as a Kiki's Delivery Service fan, Caffeinated Wolf, you're going to probably want to take a peep at this. It is cute, very
It's
cute,
very adorable.
and they took care not to lose what Kiki is. So
But look at that. Look how cute that is. Like, this is something that we would see growing up
mhm,
back in our day in terms of a McDonald's commercial. Remember,
yeah,
like, the old animated McDonald's commercials we had growing up?
yeah, on
Like, that's what
Halloween.
this reminds me of.
Yep, yep. You know this, and
This
again, like
yeah. This
they
looks like
have
the old, like, Ronald McDonald's cartoons we had growing up.
a little bit, but it also has the spirit of Japanese media with it. But I want to
Yeah.
attract your attention more to the fact that this doesn't feel uncharacteristic for Kiki.
No, it
It's just a
has its
different art
own
style.
spin. It's its own take
Hmm.
on Kiki's Delivery Service. And look how fluid that is too.
Yeah, I just this is a pot. There's a problem with this ad, Japan. There's a pot, and then there's a burger. There's a pot, and then there's a burger.
There's the burger.
I'm a little confused. How do you? That's a lot. There's a lot going on in that bowl. But Japan also likes to do strange things with American food. So this is a potato gravy and sweet mustard and onion sandwich. So you have like what they think is like a Southern delight here, you know.
Japanese McDonald's really experiments. Let's go with that.
Yeah, that's a very nice way of putting it. But yeah, we'll go on here because there's more Kiki. And there she is enjoying the sandwich. There's even like little shrimpies in laid in here, but there she is
Look at that,
enjoying the
it's so
sandwich.
cute.
Yeah. And they show you the shrimp sandwich, and then they're going to show you. Look at that, she's eating it. How about
So
that?
cute. Like,
Wow. Who would have
it just
guessed?
like if you grew up in the 90s and like early 2000s and had the Ronald McDonald's cartoons, like this is what it reminds me of.
Hmm.
Like with the
But
kids meal stuff, kids meals ads. Like that's what it reminds me. Hell, you can make the argument like it's kind of the Burger King ones weren't as crisp as the McDonald's ones.
yeah, they felt more like Sonic AM than they felt
Yeah,
like
but like the McDonald's cartoons used to really like they used to go all out with the like with this. They used to go all out and like do really fun stuff with it. But look how beautiful that is.
even the cat's worried. The cat's like, "Oh no, it's too hot. Oh no." Yeah, it's a good advert, of course, because the Japanese understand the art of showing people what you intend for them to eat. It's like that meme that Stone Toss made about the burgers, where that guy's like showing two people kissing, and then there's a little tiny text that says burgers below it, and his boss says, "How is this going to help us sell burgers?" And the guy doing the demonstration says, "Burgers," you know, and Whereas Japan's like, no, we're trying to sell you burgers. So here's Kiki, a reimagining of Kiki, and she's overwhelmed by the heat of the Cajun spice chicken burger from McDonald's. Yeah, not to be associated with the garlic sauce from Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, Kiki does DoorDash. That's
she's
I
doing
just
the
realized that.
delivery.
I just realized what it is. She's doing she's the DoorDash. Kiki's
Yeah.
DoorDash service.
She's doing the DoorDash, the Uber Eats,
Yeah,
the Grubhub.
that's
Look how cute
clever.
that is, though. It's so cute.
Yeah. And again, like the Japanese understand this with like image association. You see the final images of this ad, right? We're going to the final images of the ad, and it's not a burger. The final images of the ad
Look
are
how
not a
beautiful that
burger.
is.
Yeah, it's like a watercolor painting. It's like a watercolor
Yeah.
painting. Very French. Very French.
But then look at the tweet that they did, that American McDonald's did to introduce the sauce, and they tried to meme it. They used the freaking meme.
Yeah, it says, I'll show you what real jujutsu is. Special great garlic
No.
sauce drop 7.9. Yeah.
And then then there's the other one too.
Yeah.
When they're introducing the sauce. Keep going.
Is it down?
No, you have to go. It's a different tweet.
Oh. Is it this one?
Oh no, that's the other one that's good. We'll get to that. But the tweet says it says, I alone am the honored one. It's that meme on the McDonald's one. It's on the American McDonald's.
That's annoying. So what was this one about though?
But this is the latest volume for Jujutsu Kaisen, and the fans are going wild over it, even the Japanese fans, because what they did for this is they did a live action adaptation, like school adaptation of the
manga.
Neto and Takaba. You have to go on the YouTube page to do it, but man, everyone's going wild over it. It's amazing, and no one knows who the actors are that played Takaba and Geto either. It's incredible.
As usual, we can't show you the whole thing, but
look at that. That's Takaba. That is Takaba. They did it. This is for a manga volume.
Yeah.
This isn't for a TV show or anything. It's not a real TV show. This is for a manga volume promotion. It looks better than like Netflix's live action adaptations as of late.
Leona Rat asks why we never have fun advert like this in America. Well, just
You used to.
Well, exactly. Simply because the people in charge of things are, activists, not advertisers, if you will. There's a lot less. There's a lot of mad men, not a lot of madmen. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. But they did this in 24 seconds, and people are just losing it. But yeah, this scene here is in this is actually in the manga. It's a Mazai scene. Like there's this like comedic battle between Geto and Takaba, and it is the most insane thing you will ever see. I could not stop laughing when I covered it. Takaba, for those of you that don't know, he is a gag character. And his power relies on the power of gag or comedy. Mm-hmm. Some people don't get it and are annoyed by it because they are more into the serious stuff, and they just don't like humor, and that really sucks. But the insanity from this, like the best way to describe it is if you've seen South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Out and Uncut, that final fight that Cartman has, and he's just like going the hell off and doing that. It's kind of like there's a little bit of that, but it's also kind of like the old, actually the better way to describe it is, in the old Looney Tunes cartoons when you have like the fights between the chase scenes between like Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, that kind of thing. That's what this kind of is, but like to the nth degree. That's what this is. That's the best way to describe it. But yeah, they look so much like the actors or the characters in the manga. It's insane. It is crazy.
I want to make so many memes
I
Just
know.
so many memes out of that
I
face
hope they
right
make.
there.
People are gonna make memes from this.
Oh, absolutely. Look at that. That's beautiful.
That
They
is
faked
meme.
how many votes?
Like I love this chap. Like this fight. This is the fight that they're talking about here. This is like Takaba's backstory here. Oh my god, the cover looks so amazing. This is probably my favorite fight in the entire series. It was just, I could not stop laughing. It was that insane.
Wow. Well,
If you
something to look
want something
forward
to
to, I
laugh
guess.
at, if you like comedy, if you like slapstick comedy, yeah, you will like this fight a lot. But if you are looking for like something that's like uber serious, you won't like this fight.
Well, I just want to point out there's two pubescent boys sitting on a colorful hillside, and they're not having sex. Isn't that just amazing, right? That two guys could just be friends and have a mutual interest and not want to fuck. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that weird, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But
But then show the next thing that they did. This is like an ad for Fanta.
next
I
thing?
started laughing when I saw this.
did I miss that one? Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
there it
second
is.
link.
I got it. Just jump over there real quick. There it is.
Look at that. It's a
The face. That's what gets
so
me.
bad. I was just like, this is something like you would see like in Me and Roboco. Which is if you have not read Me and Roboco, it is just it's amazing. Or Gintama is another one you would see it in.
You know, no, you know what? It really reminds me of a Brazilian bar advertisement. It should be like Goku and Piccolo down at the bottom. But
Yeah.
this reminds me of a Brazilian bar advertisement.
No, I'm just talking about in terms of like a parody. Like this
Yeah.
is something you would see in Gintama or well, Me and Roboco, you would definitely see it because they use Fanta a lot in Me and Roboco. It's part of Roboco's Manly Man dinner. That's why I'm like, yeah, you would see that there. But
I think we used to get like, didn't we used to get like Pepsi ads that had I can't remember the character now. Naruto? Didn't we have Pepsi ads with Naruto?
back
was
in
like-
like the 2000s,
Yeah, where it was kind of like this, where like a Pepsi can was like behind Naruto, and it was just some stock image of Naruto.
I
on
think
top of it.
so.
Yeah,
I think we did.
it could have been Fanta as well, because like orange Fanta and Naruto, you know, can't
Yeah,
be a
I
better
think
combination.
you're right. I think it was Fanta. I think it was Orange Fanta.
It just Fanta and characters in this particular arrangement seem very familiar for some reason. So
But like, you see how fun this is compared to like the reason why I wanted to show this in particular. Well, one, it's because it's awesome, but two, it's like you look at that and then you look at what McDonald's did, and the U.S. is doing, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? It looks so stiff and stagnant, and then you see this, and it's like so fun, and it looks three-dimensional.
well, and the thing about it that I noticed, the thing that I noticed immediately about this, as soon as we opened it up, is the color.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a depressing color despite the dominance of black here. It is not a depressing image. It's not meant to like evoke cyberpunk either. There's no dystopic factor to this, dystopic, however you want to say it. There's no like decay of society on display here. There's no lecturing to you about the rights of individuals who are downtrodden because they can't afford Fanta. It is two dudes rocking out with a Fanta can spraying over the top of their heads. That's it. You're done. But it's like rocket science here. Like, consider for a minute how ridiculously popular that Ironheart character would be if they started advertising her like this.
Mm-hmm.
You started seeing like her posing with Dr. Pepper, who's become the second most popular soda in the country. So you start hanging out with Dr. Pepper, and their colors kind of match. So you have like her arm dispensing a Dr. Pepper can in the face of a bad guy while she's drinking another one, you know? And that's it. That's the ad. And it's like spraying. So you got this cool effect like you got up there. But no, we got to let you know that, you know, It's a hate crime to do any of that. You know? But our brand placement used to be good. You remember when Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., was just walking around with cheeseburgers in his pocket all the time? Burger King
Yeah.
cheeseburgers just in his pocket all
It
the
was
time.
just so random.
Yeah. What a great touch, right? But it didn't. The thing about it is that because of the way they characterized Tony as like a drunk, it didn't
It
feel
worked.
strange. Right. It didn't feel strange that he just had a burger in his pocket.
No,
It didn't feel weird.
it worked.
Yeah. And the way Robert Downey Jr. played it, he's like, I was aware that was there the whole time. Of course I had that burger in my pocket. Yeah, tell me more about this thing. I've been in captivity and I'm eating a cheeseburger. Tell me more.
Well, and that's why, gag series, this is why, Me and Roboco or Gintama, because they do placements like that, and they make it fit in the world that they're in, and make it even more hilarious. South Park does it really well too, where they do product placements in there and make it work and make it funny.
Yeah, and then McDonald's in America does this because
they do that, and then they do memes.
I feel like this art style was used to advertise Zoids at one point.
I feel like it was part of the McDonald's thing too.
Yeah, probably the same art team that did it. Some imitation Japanese animation group. Probably Chinese.
It's just really frustrating because, there's also the Lord of the Rings anime too. I saw that, and the first thing I thought of was just watch. It's gonna get better marketing, better, longer theatrical run times, than probably the majority of really good anime movies that are coming out here stateside, and that's really, really frustrating.
Did Gundam Narrative even get a weekend? I want to say it was like one day only.
It was 1 day for sub, 1 day for dub, and I think it was maybe 1 or 2 screenings a piece, at least where I was at.
Insane. That's absolutely insane.
And no marketing.
Is a wonderful story. Yeah, and Narrative is just a great Gundam story on its face. It's harrowing. It's about child experimentation, so it's very, very, very disturbing if you're not into that kind of war is bad narrative. But wow.
But something something I've noticed a lot more is and it goes back to what Perini was saying, what we've been talking about, is that Crunchyroll is not interested in theatrical releases. I've noticed G Kids is starting to pick up more and more licenses for movies. But still, they're not doing the longer theatrical runs or marketing. I just don't understand if it's, maybe it is you've been saying that it is, maybe it is because they are a smaller company too, that they get screwed over as well. I don't know.
Well, the truth of the matter is that the U.S. is very much protecting its media. This is why we learned that Blackstone went in and bought. I forgot the name of the company.
I knew that was happening a while. I knew it was happening. I want to say at the start of June about the bid. I knew about the bid. I knew about it. I didn't, and then I saw everyone was freaking out about the complete sale. I was like, dude, I knew that the sale was.
See, this is what the U.S. media has decided to do now. They can't get the Japanese to conform through ESG. They've ejected ESG out of the country, or they're working on it. And so now they're just going to buy the companies and force their filtration system upon them. That's
why, look at what Shueisha's doing with Manga Plus Creators. Manga Plus Creators, they're doing their own thing and making their own series. And the thing that's great about it is that the readers get to decide which series the Jump Plus editors can look at, and they get to decide which series should go in Jump Plus. And it's the thing that people need to understand about about Jump Plus Manga Plus Creators is that it actually gives more freedom to the artists than Webtoon, or what's the other platform that I'm thinking about? Crap, I can't remember. Yeah. I think that's the other one. It gives more creative freedom, or Viz Originals. That was the other one I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it gives them way more creative freedom because you don't have to worry about like deadlines. You could go at your own pace. They give you all the tools that you need on the platform, and they give you Legends does give you a reader base, and Viz Originals does too, technically. But like, you don't have to get everything like approved. You could just submit it, and like people can just read it right
Decide
away
for themselves. Yep.
and decide for themselves. And you can interact with them and build build your own reader base.
Rapport.
Yeah, which is really nice to have. And then, yeah, it's great to have that. And now, as I covered, and the article went up, the showrunner for Cyberpunk Edge Runners, his manga is getting published in Jump Plus in Japan, which is something you will never see from these platforms. Viz Originals, no, that's if you get published, it's not going to be in Japan. It's only going to be wherever Viz series are available. This series from Referral Jockey is going to be published in Japanese on Jump Plus, and it's going to be published in English and Spanish on Manga Plus. I don't know if it's not going to be on Viz. Viz is shown in Jump app either, from what I understand. But man, the art is just beautiful. The artist they picked, Machine Gamu, has done really, really beautiful stuff. It's an up and coming artist.
Yeah. So this is another thing that the Japanese are sort of a bit more capable with, is experimenting with genre.
Yeah.
What I tell people when they ask me the thing to take away from manga chiefly is, like most Japanese media, is it doesn't obey genre. If you want to stick ancient European knights in with Atlanteans and throw them all back in the time of dinosaurs, but they're not fighting the dinosaurs, they're friends with the dinosaurs, they turn into the dinosaurs, and they fight aliens, but the aliens aren't from outside of Earth, they're from inside of the Earth, that's how they do it. They just try to take like the most ridiculous path to it.
Yeah,
And it's
but
great.
this is like the first non-Japanese team to get published in Jump, or in Jump Plus, which is a huge deal.
But this is the second time the Edge Runner guy got posted, because his ranking of Kings made it through, and now it has an anime. I want to say that if it wasn't him, it was another Edge Runners creator that got their ranking of Kings.
Was it in Jump Plus, or no? This is a team though. This is the first team.
Team. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
right.
First team. Because if we're gonna talk about like non-Japanese creator, Boichi, the artist of Dr. Stone, is Korean.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
That explains the art style. Yeah, no, this is one of the things that's important about modern creation, and you can see it right here, about modern storytelling, is being able to take concepts like a big jolly bear and make him captivating in a single image. We don't get time, thanks to TikTok, we don't get a lot of time to stretch our legs explaining an idea. And so as creators, making something like this, a character in your story, allows you to like stop people in their tracks, because everybody has like a Smokey Bear kind of thing, or a teddy bear from when they were a kid, or they remember some joke bear like Ted from the Ted movies.
Yeah.
So this character kind of evokes a familiarity across most Western culture, if not world culture. And so when you see a bear, you go, ha, I'm a funny bear doing funny things, wearing a funny jacket. What's this all about? What's this fun bear doing? And that's all it takes. But this is the genius of why Japan succeeds here. And again, this is an American team doing this because they've learned.
Well, this is a Western. I think Jockey, isn't he European?
I don't know.
Because he worked for Project Red, and Project Red is a European team, I believe.
Right,
I think he's European.
Well, they're European. My point is that they learned the Japanese model of taking something.
And you know how they did that? Is because they worked with Studio Trigger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. This has some Trigger fingerprints. Definitely has some Trigger fingerprints. Absolutely.
Yeah, they work closely with the art. Machine Gamu didn't work with Trigger, mind you. This is a freelance artist that they worked with, But I think because Jackie worked with Trigger, because if you read the interviews, they'll one of the representative for CD Projekt Red expressed how close they worked with Studio Trigger. So yeah, you could definitely see the Trigger influence in the style of writing, in the style of art that Jackie gave to Tagamu. And this is his first independent project. And it's a really interesting thing too, because what it is that in this world, your name is basically your superpower. So in the case of the bear's, the werebear, her name is Ursa, which is, bear. So she can transform into a bear. Yeah. Yep. And then you have the other character, Ralph, means wolf commander. He can literally control wolves. The titular character is a baby that hasn't been named yet, but his father, who is his name, Beidel means human commander. Yeah, Beidel's trying to get control of his baby because he manipulated the baby's mother, raped her, all that. It's really fucked up. It is really fucked up. They're trying to keep him away from the father, because if the father gets control of the baby, then his power, he'll name him after, he'll give him, the Beidel name, and he will then manipulate him and raise him to be like him too. It's really, the manga is very interesting. The concept is very interesting.
Well, and again, I heard some critique about this earlier, but I think it was from someone who had fallen out with the Shueisha Jump Plus situation and didn't like the idea of a mainstream creator finding their way into that competition. But again, not my problem. I just remember that being mentioned, that the no name thing was a bit strange. But
it is
I don't have a problem with it, honestly.
I don't have a problem with it either. Like, manga is strange. Manga is different. Like, I've read / covered like the most bizarre series. I mean, I cover Shonen no Abyss and Jujutsu no Rokuden, and they are bizarre and disturbing as hell. But those series end up being the best series because there's some very unique writing in there, sometimes very powerful writing in there. And in the case of Shonen no Abyss, some of the best art you will ever see. It is beautiful, the art that you see in Shonen no Abyss. Disturbing? Yes. Beautiful? Yes.
Well, speaking of beautiful things, I haven't seen this since I was a kid. Magical Knight Earth is being relaunched with a new animation project.
Yeah, there's a lot of anniversaries this year. It's crazy.
Everything happened in the 90s.
Series. Huh?
Everything happened in the 90s.
Well, either in 99 or 89. I've noticed a lot of stuff was launched in 89 too, which is nuts. And that was the year I was born too. So it's like, oh my God. But yeah, there's a lot of anniversaries happening this year, and Ray Earth happens to be one of them. I'm curious what they're going to do with this project. For those, there's also Rama Half that's getting that's a much needed reboot too. That one needs it bad.
That's gonna be nothing but a trans allegory. If it's not on purpose, it'll be warped into it.
We'll see if it's anything like what we saw with oh my God, what's the series that I was thinking of? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart right now. The O.R.C.A series that that David Productions just did. Oh God, my brain, I'm just like totally forgot.
Well, it looks like there's going to be some kind of, I wouldn't say that this is going to be the like exact representation of the problem.
Okay, now
it looks like they're headed into a dangerous sort of like hostile land. Like a
now I remember the series. It's O.R.C.A Yatsura. O.R.C.A Yatsura. That's the other. Yeah, that's the other series that Rumiko Takashi series that just had a reboot, and it was David Productions did a fantastic job with it. So if the same team works on Rama half, I don't think there's going to be any problems.
Well, yeah, I mean, like again, if I just think it's gonna end up being like like you were mentioning a little earlier before we went live about the One Piece Yamato
Oh yeah, the Yamato.
brigade.
I've had to deal with the trans brigades coming after Rama, saying that they're already saying that Rama is going to crack the eggs of a new generation. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah. If you don't know, egg is a euphemism for someone who does not know that they are trans, but is expressing what trans people consider trans qualities. Basically,
These
you're
are
a girl and you
groomers.
like blue.
These are groomers that are saying that they're going to be cracking eggs, and it's disgusting.
Yes. Problematic at the very least, to borrow their word. But that's my problem with the Ranma half reboot is that's all it's going to do is it's going to serve the trans audience. It's not on purpose. It's just going to get swallowed
It will
up.
be a happy accident. It will be it's not a happy accident. Oh my god. It's a consequence.
Right,
A horrible
there it is.
consequence.
Yeah, they ruin everything.
Yeah, they stick to breakfast.
They ruin everything. They ruin gaming.
They do. But the thing with Rama half though, and this is why I really wanted the reboot, or I should say the Brotherhood treatment for Rama half, is it did not get a proper anime adaptation. So that's why I wanted it.
But you know what did get a proper anime adaptation? Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, it's its 20th anniversary. See, it's crazy.
How old do you feel, right?
I feel
like,
so
oh my
old.
god. I had to hide up at night to watch this show because it was too violent for me when it was on the air. My parents had a problem with how violent it was. That's how long ago.
My parents didn't care what I watched.
Yeah, well.
Well, I had a TV.
I wasn't allowed to watch The Green Mile. That's how strict everything was.
My parents were awesome. Well, one, I had my own TV, a VCR in my room with cable, so I was a very spoiled kid. So, and I could watch whatever the hell I wanted.
Caffeinated Wolf asks us, they really do love to repurpose
Yes, they do.
words. Yeah,
they do.
These
activists do it all the time. I'm keeping an eye out for Senpai isn't a Tokonoko. They are trying to trans the main character, the titular Tokonoko, and I've already seen quite a few of them. And one of them actually earlier today, I caught one of them basically confessing the trans activist agenda. I was like, whoa, they're really triggered by this series.
Yeah.
It's wild.
20 years of this, right? And then to have the Sunflower Samurai pay off like that. What a ripoff. I was so mad.
But this series, though, Samurai Champloo, this series was amazing. The soundtrack for this series was freaking incredible.
Mm-hmm. Well, and people now, this is where some argument about Yasuke comes from. We'll talk about him a little later when Spencer and Jacob show up. But we have this problem right now where Assassin's Creed, which fashions itself as a historically accurate game, has decided to put Samurai Champloo music in the background of Yasuke's battle scenes. Now, ordinarily, fine, he's a black guy, that's cool. But they didn't do this. They didn't put Italo disco in the background of Assassin's Creed 2. They didn't do that. They didn't put hard bass, Russian hard bass in the background of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla one, There wasn't any of that. This particular brand of music is so distinct, though, because it takes it's like a Wu-Tang style, if you will.
Yeah, and something I noticed too when it was Ubisoft Music's Twitter, released the soundtrack. Everything seemed like it was like, okay, this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense. And then you saw Yasuke's track, and it was like, wait a minute, one of these things is not like the other. What is this?
Yeah, and that's what it is that you have this very traditional Japanese style music in the Ubisoft OST for Assassin's Creed Shadow that they just officially released. You have this very traditional sounding music, and then when you get to Yasuke's music, well, it gets a Motown remix, all right? And But hey, 20 years of Samurai Champloo has proven that that music style works and is also kinetic enough to pair fights with. So we can at least give Assassin's Creed this much credit that they learned or copied from Samurai Champloo, if I'll ever say it right.
Samurai Shampoo.
I'm actually a bot who won't spam. That's very kind of you. Thank you. +1 social credit score for Skynet. That's it also astonished me that Nintendo came out and decided they were going to fix scalping. Did you catch this one? So Nintendo announces a simple plan to fight Switch successor scalpers. Promises to produce enough to sufficient numbers to meet customer demand. So if you don't know, right? If you don't know,
That has been a problem since the Wii. Let's be real.
Well, Nintendo's going to be releasing a new console. Switch 2 is the Twitter name for it. I prefer the Switcher. Thank you very much. But I like the Nintendo Switcher. That's fun. But anyway, Nintendo announces the simple plan. So what their plan is they're just going to do what the Treasury does. Is they're just going to like overprint all these things. Now, Nintendo has been I don't know, maybe a collector's brand, I guess would be a good way to say it. It seems to be that most of what Nintendo produces, people want to like hold on to forever. There's only a few systems that ever got ejected into the trash, and most people went after them after they figured out what they were. So, when you go and create too many of these things, the value of them is going to go down. The scalper situation, I think, would work a lot better if they sat down and did more pre-order custom editions, like more of the Zelda solid gold, consoles, the gold controllers, more Mario ones, more ones done up like Metroid here with Samus on it, and maybe one that's styled like her ball form, that kind of thing. Because that is how you make up that difference, and you make more money on this. But when you go out and you just like, we're just gonna mass produce this base unit to fucking hell. Well, there goes the price of the damn thing. The value of it's lost. Oh well.
Sorry. Yeah. This is a problem though. But yeah, as Captain Wolf says, Nintendo creates an artificial supply issue with their hardware and first-party software. This happens every time. I don't remember if it happened with the GameCube, but I know it happened with the Wii. Because I was working at GameStop when it happened with the Wii. So
yeah, the GameCube did. I wanted one. I couldn't get one up here in Maine for 6 months.
Okay, so it did happen with the GameCube. I don't think it happened. So did it happen with the Nintendo 64? I was too young to remember if it happened with the 64.
Probably Beanie Babies were a thing. I can imagine that they did the same thing to the see-throughs.
Well, I got my Nintendo 64 from Costco in the bundle with Pokemon Stadium. Yeah.
The second best N64 game ever.
I love Pokemon Stadium.
It's great. Even today, it's solid.
I'm still waiting for Pokemon Stadium 3. Nintendo, you made a second Pokemon Snap. Make Pokemon Stadium 3 and make Pokemon Puzzle League 2 already. Like, come on.
Yeah, Purple Sky says here that I am sticking with my PS4 until it is dead.
That's just me as well. Well, my PS4, one of my subscribers actually donated my PS4. How many years ago was this? I want to say 6 years ago, at least 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah, something like that. Well, but yeah.
Eventually, Xeno's gonna kill it, so you gotta be careful.
Oh my god, my kitty knocked over my PS4 earlier, like right before we started streaming. Now he's passed out like a bump on a log.
Yeah, it's kitty.
That catnip finally kicked in, huh, kitty?
But Caffeinated Wolf here is a fellow alumni of the GameStop kingdom here. As a former decade-long GS manager, I'm familiar with their international supply garbage.
I was a GameStop supervisor. Well, I went from associate to supervisor in less than a year. Yeah, in less than a year I did. And I worked there for 2 years at GameStop. My God, I established a lot of systems in my district, though. I actually have I in my district I beat I think all the managers, assistant managers, and the supervisors in and Game Informers and reservations for like I want to say at least 2 months because I was that good at upselling. But yeah,
Not hard.
hey, I did my research on stuff.
Well, you know, it's not hard when you're dedicated, which is a kind of a foreign thing to a lot of modern GameStop employees. But
Hey, I used the Game Informer to sell Game Informers and I think I was the one that started at least in my district anyway. I printed out the pre-order list and I that's how I got pre-orders. And then after I started doing that, that's when all the other GameStops in my district started doing it too.
yeah, well, and that's see, the GameStop has always been a bit of a hiccup in all of this, right? Because that became a bottleneck when I think you were probably witnessing this when I was. It was like 2004 to 2009,
I
where
was there
like
in 2008
yeah,
and
so
that
there you go. You see the bottleneck that the GameStop created because it wasn't Suncoast had gone under, at least on my coast. Suncoast had gone under, and there wasn't another like Radio Shack wasn't around anymore at that point. It had pretty much died off, relegated to the corner of a mall you buy batteries at, you know, and
Mhm.
that was it. There wasn't another like um tech video gamey place because Circuit City had died out by then
Yeah,
too.
Circuit City died, Suncoast closed. Tower Records was in the process was closing around that time period, right? I believe so.
Or at
It
least
was like
at least
2011.
closing places. So
And then Rasputin's was still going for a little bit. But Rasputin's was getting close to closing.
well,
And
and
then
well, we lost the like it was around this time when Best
that was
Buy
around this time
this
when Blockbuster closed too.
yeah, and we lost the Best Buy like exclusives. Do you remember the Best Buy exclusives?
The Best Buy exclusives were still around in terms of games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Best Buy
Maybe they stopped
exclusives.
advertising them.
I think they just stopped advertising, or they weren't. No, they were still advertising them. I
No, I
remember
guess I
they
missed
still
it.
advertised them.
Hmm. Well, you
But
know,
yeah,
again, like a lot of GameStop created the bottleneck. You had to go to GameStop if you were going to stop if you're going to do anything with gaming. That was it. Very, very strange, but very powerful niche to occupy.
yeah. Oh yeah, and this was around the time. I just remember Game Crazy was closing in this time period as well.
Mhm.
And I didn't know until like a few days ago, or at least I totally forgot. Redbox, because Redbox is going bankrupt. They stopped selling or renting games like 5 years ago.
So, you know, speaking of 5 years ago, it was probably when they should have put Nathan Fillion in the suit they put him in now. You have you seen some of the Superman set photos yet?
Yeah.
Look at Nathan. Look at that. That's
Oh my.
Nathan Fillion in that biker jacket. That's the good old Captain right there. And
Oh my
it's Captain
god.
Hammer. Look at that. That's Nathan Fillion that they have in this. I don't even know what this is. It like poured him into it. Ugh,
Oh my
so
god.
bad. Look at this.
Oh my
Looks
god.
so bad. Oh, what have they done to you?
Seriously.
I knew there was going to be one. There was going to be one where the costume just didn't line up, you know, and this is it right here.
Mhm. I
I love it.
mean, at least we got. You know what? I don't know if you did. You watch Suicide Squad Isekai yet?
No.
Oh my god, it is fucking wild, dude. I'm glad people are noticing it too because I did my live reactions for Patreon, and something I realized was like Clayface and Peacemaker are like the best characters in the show, especially Clayface. Like he is. I'm starting to wonder if Clayface is is Tape's like self-insert, and if he is like maybe using him as like a vent on how he feels about Warner Brothers or something, or just about isekai in general. Like, I guess with some of the stuff he says, I'm like, dude, I need a Clayface show. I love him. I love Clayface.
That's the look. That is the look of a man that is in a midlife crisis.
Midlife
Quote,
crisis is
I'll
right.
take the convertible. Yeah, that's Nathan Fillion right there. My
Oh,
goodness.
poor Nathan.
They didn't even ask him to lose weight. They were just like, nah, man, we'll being dad bod works out pretty fine for this. That's what we're trying to do here.
Oh,
It's
kitty,
amazing.
hi, son.
The other thing is some of these set photos are just spectacular. My favorite is so you hang around here often? Yeah, we don't need to be anywhere, fellas. We're just on our way. You know, just on our way. And but it shows us that Mr. Terrific will be rolling around in a.
He's just like, it's like he looks like he's in one of those swing rides at the
for
amusement
babies.
park.
Oh yeah, like the hurl and twirl. Yeah.
Yeah.
The twirl and hurl. Yeah.
The twirl and
You're
hurl.
out-
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
looks like you're riding one of those.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and she lost her seat. Her seat like got ejected off of it. But see, I'm not so bothered with these two costumes. These are fine. I don't have a problem with these. I have a problem with Nathan Fillion. Like he is Nathan Fillion into that suit.
He does, man. He looks horrible.
Yes, and what I appreciate about this picture right here is that you have what clearly is going to be Hawk Girl flying. The intention showing her like this is to have them clearly they're standing here having a conversation, they're flying by, they're on their way to a different scene, and we can see that right here where they're mid stride, and you see Fillion's in mid stride, Superman's come to a stop, and then the Mr. Terrific's up here, and she has her mace down now, and she's leaned a little further forward, which again looks to me like she has her angel wings spread and she's flying. So, I'm glad they didn't do practical effect wings. That probably would have looked really, really dumb. So,
especially in this kind of situation. You know what? I'm just thinking about how much worse it could have looked. If you've ever been to Great America and have ridden the roller coaster Stealth, where you start on your back, and then when you go down the first hill, it flips you over, and it's like you're flying. That's what it could have looked like. It could have looked like something like that. That's what it's making me think.
Yeah, well, and that reminds me of the Smallville red.
Oh, not Smallville.
Yep. Well, I understand it. I do. That was when he was the Blur there, and then he had the soft Superman S on his chest that wasn't colored in. It was the same color as the jacket. And yep.
But I don't know if you've heard about this with Batman Caped Crusaders. I just remembered this. Is that they're saying it's going to be set in year 2 of after Batman takes up the suit, and in the 40s, and like people are just going nuts. They're like, then why are you doing all this race swap? I know it's been talked about before, but like it's even more so now that we're getting closer to the premiere date. It's like, why do all this race swapping if we're in the 40s? It makes no sense.
Well, and there's a lot of things that are not making sense right now. We do have a little bit of breaking news here, but I'll skim into it for the moment because I think
besides the Mrs. Freeze stuff, oh my god, God.
This is Neil Gaiman has been accused of sexual impropriety.
Oh, I saw that.
Sexually abusive behavior against 2 women during consensual relationships. So he's denied these allegations that any impropriety has happened here and any wrongdoing was done. I don't know. Again, like, this is a guy that prides himself on joining the mob and canceling people and things like that. So I really don't feel bad now that his own medicine's coming back at him.
This is just getting ridiculous. All the allegations. Are we really living in another is this like the second coming of Me Too? Are we really doing this?
Well, it appears to be that there's some kind of trend toward that. But it says right here, according to an investigation for the Tortoise podcast hosted by journalist and broadcaster Rachel Johnson, the award-winning British writer was alleged to have sexually assaulted one of the women within hours of their first meeting when she was 22 years old and he was 61. She made a complaint to the police about him, although she was never interviewed or accused of any criminal offense because of lack of evidence. He was never.
Yeah, this is a Me Too situation.
He has strenuously denied any sexual misconduct and any allegation of non-consensual sex. Mr. Gaiman, 63, is author of books including The Sandman, American Gods, the children's book Coraline, and co-wrote Good Omens with author Terry Pratchett, which was later turned into a television show by the British Broadcasting Channel. So, yeah. Good old Neil. Good old Neil has a hard time keeping his hands to himself.
I mean, we just dealt with this stuff with, well, the thing is, though, and this is why I'm like, you gotta be careful with this kind of stuff, is we had the allegations with Dak Prescott, and they found out that the woman that was accusing him was extorting, was doing attempted extortion, and the case got dismissed because she was lying. So that's why I'm like, you gotta be careful with this kind of stuff. Gotta wait until more evidence comes out before you can really make or come to a conclusion on this kind of thing.
Well, Neil doesn't wait when he makes his judgment. So you know what? I'm just gonna say, like, Neil, just keep your hands to yourself, man. You don't have a problem.
Everyone should keep their hands to themselves.
Yeah,
including the women that are making the accusations. You should, if you don't want to get hit, keep your hands to yourself.
Well, it's not only that. It's like, don't put yourself in a situation where this guy feels like he has that authority over you. That kind of power.
There's that too. A lot of these women do it to themselves as well, and it really frustrates me when they try and play victim.
Well, it was some of the thing when we were hearing about Harvey Weinstein's thing. Yes, it's very abusive. Yes, it's very manipulative. But the one thing kept coming to my mind, like, what did you expect to happen when you went back to a hotel room with a man and no one else? What did you think was going to happen when you put yourself in that situation? Usually people don't go back to a hotel room alone, just two people together, to write letters home to mom, drink tea, or put puzzles together. Usually there's something a bit more primal intended there.
Well, the thing is, well, the thing is, you got to look at the entertainment industry and the casting couch culture, because casting couch culture, like, will make or break careers, and a lot of these women are desperate and want, their careers to take off. And sometimes when they get too deep into the couch, they can't go back, if that makes sense, because they will get blacklisted, and that's what they're worried about.
And in reality, like Neil is like a bit of an annoying turd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when this kind of stuff happens to a guy like that, it's hard to have sympathy for him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see a guy run down if he didn't do something. That's not cool, right? We don't do that. That's not how we do things here. But if someone were to ask me, looking at a photo of that guy, if someone were to ask me, is this person someone you want to be alone in a room with? I'm going to say no. Under no circumstances do I want to be alone in a room with that right there. No.
That is no.
That's what I defer to. Like, if you want the job, that's great. If they won't give it to you unless you're naked, well, it's probably not the right job for you. Maybe being a bank teller isn't so bad after all.
Well, then there's also the other situation, what you see with kid actors, and that's partially it's the parents' fault for putting the kid in this
Oh
situation.
yeah, like Amanda Bynes, that whole
And Drake
slave
Bell
thing. Yeah, that's even weirder.
But Drake's mom, based on what he said, she had no idea it was happening.
Yeah.
And, you know, both of them were being manipulated. So it's really scary what happens in the entertainment industry.
Well, speaking of having things happen and you just don't know what's going on, did you guys even know that Redbox was still in business? Now it's going out of business, but did you know it was even in business still?
Yeah. Now's the time to buy movies on the cheap, though. They're going to have a huge discount. If you want cheap physical media, now's the time to buy it.
Yeah. Well, you know, you get all those fancy Redbox disc holders too. So,
and those disc holders will probably be worth something someday. They actually will, because people are seeking out Blockbuster ones.
Was there ever a Redbox clone? I don't remember. I want to say Redbox.
Redbox replaced the Blockbuster ones.
No. I meant the vending machine, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So was there another, like, Redbox kind of pioneered the touchscreen version of that, right?
Yeah, as RJ said, Redbox killed Blockbuster, and I think Blockbuster started the touchscreen one, right? Or did Redbox start the touchscreen and then Blockbuster followed them, and then both of them, and then Blockbuster died.
Yeah, and as soon as Spencer's gone. He didn't want to talk about it. But
in regards to the Sony discontinuing Blu-ray sales, it's not for commercial business. It's only in Japan this is happening. It's not happening worldwide. It's only like if you were like burning something onto a Blu-ray disc for private use, it's those kinds of discs that are being discontinued. It's not commercial discs are not being discontinued.
Why can't you print your own Blu-ray?
Or DVD. It's only in Japan this is happening. It's not affecting anywhere else outside of Japan. It's because of the layoffs that happen in Japan. Okay. And that's due to low demand because of Japan getting more into streaming.
Well, hi, Spencer.
Well, hello there, everyone. Hi. What are we talking about?
Redbox going out of business and Neil Gaiman being accused of sexually harassing or assaulting.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. I haven't looked into that yet, but that's a there will probably be an article on it Unbounding after we're done here. But yeah, that's a
you missed the amazing Jujutsu Kaisen commercial that they're doing for the latest volume. They went all out with
for the volume.
They went all out with Takaba versus Geto. They did an actual like live action commercial.
Really?
They did. It was amazing. It's like something
that's pretty crazy.
We'll watch it again.
Let's do. Oh, it's only 20 seconds. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's so amazing. You've read the chapters, right? For the fight?
Yeah.
You're gonna love this. Then you'll understand it.
This is incredible,
doesn't he? They don't know who the actor is either. They didn't like put who the actors are for Takaba or Geto either.
Because they never did, because it's commercial. Like that's going to be hard to find anyway. But yeah, that looks great so far.
This is like his backstory, or like when they're in the classroom.
This is wonderful.
No, then there comes Geto, and then we're getting to the like community battle. Geto looks so good.
He looks good. Yeah, he looks really good. He looks like he could be a stage play like actor for JJK.
This face. Hold on.
And then just
that face right there.
Oh,
that's gotta be amazing.
How many votes?
Yeah, exactly. The Pfizer's saying they do what now?
Yeah, right. They do what?
But no, like what really gets me
in my balls,
right? What is happening? I can't believe it.
Dude, the volume cover is so sick too. They put Takaba on the cover.
I'm like so like what really shocks me here and really shows you the difference between our like the two media cultures is like this is an ad for a volume of the manga. Like
a book.
When I could not tell you the last time I saw a commercial for a trade paperback. Or Marvel and DC sometimes do those really stupid like Twitter commercials for like new single issues where it's just like the cover and it's like in motion or whatever. Those are stupid. Those don't count. But yeah, like we're not getting live action Ultimate Spider-Man commercials, unfortunately. So this is to live in an era where this is like happening actively is I'm jealous of you kids.
We had this for video games like back in the day, didn't we?
Back in the day, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We still occasionally get a video game ad or two nowadays. They're just, a lot of them are either very, very boring, sort of like stock footage, like it's Call of Duty. So, oh, here we go, boys, load in. It's not, very generic trailers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or very rarely you'll get something like this. One of my favorite commercials of all time. And I remember hell yes, that's incredible.
Doesn't that give you like me and Roboco tees? Like this.
Yes, it actually does. Yeah.
Roboco.
Especially with the style. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like what one commercial I always remember, and I remember being blown away because I saw it for the first time while I was at the gym on the treadmill and I was watching ESPN, and all of a sudden there's the commercial starts, there's a woman at the door, she hears a knock or whatever, she opens it up, there's a guy and he hands her flowers and she goes, oh, and she looks at him and she's kind of disgusted and she hits him and he like recoils and then she hits him again and he starts like recoiling really hard, like body
kills
like
Mike.
ragdolling. Yeah, I kill it. I'm gonna kill it a lot, trust me. But then she hits him with the flowers, she launches him up in the air and starts air comboing him. And it's like, what am I watching? Devil May Cry 5 trailer. Like, it was the most random thing I'd ever seen, but there was a trailer for that game on American television. So it happens. It's just very, very rare, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because now we get commercials for like Bud Light. I don't know. Do they even make ads anymore?
They do it for the Super Bowl. But I mean, like, Spencer, you
but
saw
the Super Bowl ones are all the Super Bowl ones this year were all funny though, Nerdigans, because it was all very clearly like, we're sorry. Like, please like us again. We're sorry. Dylan who? Never heard of him. Like, that's what all of those ads were.
He
it was
doesn't
funny.
go to this school.
Yeah, exactly.
But like you saw the Jujutsu Kaisen ad here, but like you saw what's going on with McDonald's and the Jujutsu Kaisen ad and how cringy that is compared to this. Oh
well, okay. I didn't know they made an ad for it. I know that they are doing like a sauce. Like a
yeah,
new
they
Jujutsu
did a
Kaisen
reveal
sauce.
for the sauce, and they did like they had the meme for the tweet too, like what was it? They had the Malevolent Kitchen stuff like in the profile in their bio.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say they made a reference to the Rick and Morty.
And the Honored one too. They did that.
No, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, here's Yuji going up on a counter, going like, "Ree, I want my sauce." Like,
no, they didn't do that. No, they did the I and the Honored one for the introduction to the characters on the sauce. Right. It's but like, oh, that's so cringy.
I guess new sauce promotions are cool. They just don't happen that much, and this is probably just me personally talking. Again, that Rick and Morty stunt, I don't want anything to do with the McDonald's sauce ever again. If you don't put one in my bag, I'm not even going to say the words and ask you for it. Like, it's tainted.
The McDonald's promotion didn't help either. That really didn't help.
Well, it was so dumb. I don't know if you remember this, Nerdigans, but like with the Rick and Morty one, they were like, oh, come get your sauces. We're bringing back this sauce. And then it was like 2 packets a store. And it was just like, what are we doing here? Is this really where we're at?
Yeah, you think Nintendo keeps hardware like fake restrictions in order to drive up the price of their stuff.
Didn't used to do that.
That Szechuan stuff is nuts.
I saw somebody trade a car for like a pack of that sauce. You people,
oh my god,
get jobs.
It's so crazy.
Rick and Morty is for smart people, you know.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier.
High IQ for this.
No, we were talking about this earlier with the Kiki's Delivery Service McDonald's ad, how it was kind of similar to the old Ronald McDonald's kids meal ads we had back when we were growing up, and how
I miss. Yeah,
it was. Hold on a second. My cat is about to knock my TV over.
Do you guys? Do you remember? And we should probably hit the intro soon. But while we're on the topic of fast food, welcome to the Bounding Fast Food Hot Minute, which kicks off every stream lately. But the thing that gets me, Nerdigans, about like Happy Meals nowadays is that the toys that they get now are not even really toys. Like, it's really sad like back in the day, we would have like rev up toys that you pull back and they go, or we would have launchers, or, you know, push something and it spins into the air. Now you get like plushies, or you get, you know, like the acrylic standees that all the anime like merch are making nowadays. You get like that, but they're paper. Yeah. Like it's so lame. Like kids these days have it great, and they also have it terrible.
Well, that's just it. Is that children right now are a very interesting demographic because they don't. The West doesn't know how to reach it. Japan doesn't have a problem.
Yes.
The West doesn't know how to reach it because they can't pack it in with their dumb little message at the same time. Because kids are like, I don't care. I just chicken nuggies.
Like we've talked about this before, but every kid, all of us here in the panel, watching later, whatever, we all remember being kids and getting, you know, watching our favorite television show, Justice League, Spider-Man, whatever. And, you know, there's that episode where here's an after school special. Let's all sit down and learn a lesson. Let me teach you what you need to do. And it's like, no kid has ever liked those. Those have never connected with any kid. Those are all for like the ratings boards. Those are all for the adults who think they're doing something. And it's just like, you're not doing anything at all.
But yeah, the kids' meal toys we had growing up were so much different. And then you had the additional toys, like the watches, the Pokemon gold cards, and
the extra ones you had to buy.
Yeah, and like the Simpsons plushies that they had. Like they had the whole family that you could get.
I remember I have all the gold Pokemon cards from Burger King. I have all of the.
Did you get all the McDonald's cups too, and all the?
I got
remember the Hercules plates? Like I
do remember that. I think I had like one or two of them. I didn't have all
of them. I got the whole set.
But I remember I had the KFC they had plushie, like Pokemon plushies. That was their promotion, and it was like a Vulpix. It's like a Vulpix, a Zubat, a Dratini, and something else that I can't like see in my head. But I remember having those.
Really? They didn't do a Pidgey of all the things. They couldn't do a Pidgey with a red bib. Couldn't even do that.
They could not lean into the joke. They couldn't give us a Sparrow. They couldn't give us a Pidgey. They just had to go with Vulpix. Read into that what you'll read into that. It's my favorite, most depressing graphic of all time. The fast food price increases. What is that? 199% for a McChicken. Like, who's okay with this? Like
somebody sat down and said, like, this is obvious because it looks like a cafe. It's obviously worth a whole $1.99 more.
This is like, okay, obviously we all here know Biden's economy is garbage. It is inflation out the butt. Do not, like, whatever they say otherwise, do not listen to them. Everything is more expensive like nowadays. This, like McDonald's in particular, though, their issues are compounded by corporate greed of the franchise owners, because I think I've brought this up before, but in case I haven't, I'll bore everybody with it again. A couple weeks ago, McDonald's was like, all right, times are tough in the economy. We are going to introduce across every location a new $5 meal thing, which is like a burger, fries, a drink. They were like, nobody's eating here anymore. We got to get, people cheap food. Let's go. All like 90% of the franchisee owners were like, absolutely not. We're going to lose money. How are we going to survive if we sell a $5 meal on items that cost probably collectively 30 cents to make when you're buying it like in that bulk? So it's just,
meanwhile,
down with
a quarter pounder with cheese meal costs $12 now. Meanwhile,
$12. That's fries and a drink and like the burger, $12. That's I saw somebody on Twitter.
I think you still have to ask for ketchup with that too, dude.
You do.
That comes with ketchup.
No, they did away with that like 10 years ago. They don't just give you sauces anymore. You have to actively request them. And it's like, are you kidding me? What are we doing here?
Well, meanwhile, Sonic released a $1.99 value menu.
You know what they didn't do, though? I still can't believe they weren't. I don't know why this is where my head went. Well, obviously, it's where my head went because Sonic. But I can't believe they weren't the chain to team up with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie for promotion when it came out. Like, Sonic is all about chili dogs.
Sega sued them. That's why that never happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a history, like way back in the day when Sonic was starting to spread around. Sega sued them because they were putting chili dogs out. So they were getting kids confused. It was a Sonic restaurant with chili dogs. And they were like, no, you can't do this. And our American courts were like, no, they can call their restaurant that and have chili dogs at it. As long
Party
as they don't make
poopers.
them blue, it'd be fine. You know?
Right. That's
Party
crazy.
pooper.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
why
they were
didn't
like,
team up.
yeah, exactly. It's still some bad
It'll
blood
be
there.
a
Okay,
cold
I get
day
that.
in hell,
Yeah.
hedgehog.
Never. You keep that blue bastard out of our stores.
Right, they do the Eggman promotion. They don't do any
Yes.
Sonic promotion. It's just straight up Eggman promotion. That would be funny. It's no Sonic at all. It's just Eggman.
No,
Just to have
you
Jim Carrey promotions.
Right?
And just like, what would that be? It would be like open it up and just like 2 hard-boiled eggs. Like, that's not appealing, but I feel like that's a villain meal. Only
No,
villains
you'd
would
have
eat
a,
something
like-
so whack.
No, you
Or
have like
Frank.
a Royal Red Robin burger kind of thing where it's 2 sunny side up eggs, like
Oh,
on
yeah.
a burger with bacon. Oh God, I love Royal
Eggs
Red
on
burgers.
burgers are amazing, but they're messy. They're one of those things where like
They
once you
have
pick
to
it
get
up,
them
if you take that first bite, you have to commit to eating that burger. Otherwise
Wait.
it's disintegrating.
The thing about the burger is, right? This burger we're talking about, this fictional Eggman burger that
Yeah.
this fictional restaurant's totally gonna make.
Give it a big
Is
old
it when-
mustache.
Exactly. When you look at the top,
you-
it's got
the
the
mustache
extra
would be the-
long, thick pieces
No.
of bacon hanging out
Yes,
on the
yes,
sides
yes!
that, look,
Yeah.
that go out and
No,
fork
you know
out.
what
You
you have
know,
underneath
like
it?
the whiskers.
No, you know what you'd have for the whiskers though is you'd have the hash browns for the whiskers.
That's true. You could do that. Yeah, and arrange them. Yep.
Yeah, you'd have the hash browns for the whiskers, and then you'd have like below, and then you'd have like the bacon, like for the top part.
Yeah. It's
Either
really
way,
true,
it
you
sounds
know?
tasty as hell. Like I would eat that, but guess what? It's probably going to cost us $15 to eat that.
Now I want a
Gourmet
Denny's Grand
McDonald's,
Slam burger. That
remember?
sounds so yummy.
Grand Slam
I'm
burgers
not
are good.
stoned
What'd you
enough
say,
for that
Cider?
yet.
I
I was
know,
just
right?
gonna
Like I couldn't stomach that yet.
I was gonna say it's $12 for a quarter pounder is what I said there. You know, it's
$3
gourmet
per-
McDonald's.
Gore Donald's. Honestly, if you go to like McDonald's in other countries that aren't like like America, they're pretty damn fancy.
Spencer,
it's
your
very
mic-
surprising.
Is very snowy.
Snowy. Okay. Well, why don't we hit the intro and I'll fix it in there and we'll get back to you guys.
All right, see you in a second.
One more kiss and I'll get lost. I can take this anymore. One more step, we have it all. The fever's knocking at your door. One more kiss and I'll get lost. I can take this anymore. One more step, we have it all. The fever's knocking at your door. Can you feel the fever? You give me a fever again. Yes, I know it's just your game, but I love to be the one who gets played, yeah. There I go and I just fall again. 'Cause baby, I like the way I'm loving you. I like the hell you put me through. I keep on chasing after you. Yeah, you feel the fever, you give me a fever. I like the things you make me do. You know how to make me like a fool. The way you smile, the way you move. Yeah, you feel the fever, you give me a fever again. You give me a fever again.
You're muted. He doesn't know he's muted. No, hold. Okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Okay, it's not me. Okay, they're muted. The icon is right there. It's right there. The mute icon.
What? I can't. Okay, now I'm unmuted. I'm sorry. How in 2024 are Zoomers going after Master Roshi now?
Look, it's unmuted. Look, the little icon. I'm not muted. I know how to work StreamYard.
Dude, that's what I was gonna say.
My fault. I'm sorry.
Between no, it wasn't your fault. Because I was muted too when it happened. It was something on StreamYard's end. But I was gonna say, we opened the show, or at least my part of the show, with a discussion on prices are too high these days, and now we didn't get our mics working correctly. We didn't we didn't cut our intros, and now we're about to complain about how awful entertainment is these days. So we're just welcome to the Boomer One stream, everyone.
Right, Zero Boomer.
The Zero Boomers or 100 Boomers. Princess
Yeah, right.
Mononoke better than Kiki? Maybe. I feel like they offer two different experiences that those are like really hard. I would compare something like Princess Mononoke to like a Howl's Moving Castle, a more actiony one, and Kiki's to like more of a slice of lifey, Spirited Away style Ghibli. But Howl still is my favorite. That's the best one. That you get Christian Bale and Billy Crystal together, as there's no combination there, but it's just a fun fact I like to drop. But yes, everyone, welcome Wednesday night, another episode of the 01 stream here at Bounding Into Comics. I am, of course, your host, editor-in-chief, Spencer McCooley. I am joined right now by my lovely co-hosts and my lovely friends, Cider Hype and Nerdigans. We will be having Jacob. He will be along a little later. He's currently getting out of his magical meeting, and he will make up that time when he gets here. Josh is taking care of some personal things, so he won't be here tonight. But we are back. We have a lot to talk about. There's been anime news. There's been Star Wars news. There's been everything. So what were you guys talking about before I got on? I only started watching the Majors Briefing Room like probably 20 minutes before I hopped on. So what are we on tonight, my friends?
Like earlier, we were mentioning about the Redbox closing up, and that's probably for the good thing. It's probably for a good reason, because if it wasn't for that, the Acolyte probably would have killed it.
Oh my god.
This show. So here's I don't even know how to approach this show, because this show is just so bad. It's so boring. There is just nothing to this show. I have not even watched last night's episode because I heard there was just nothing to it. I saw the very, very stupid member berry at the end of that episode. Obviously, spoiler alerts. I know nobody here is really going to care. At the very end of this new episode, I believe it's O.R.C.A. She picks up that stupid Smilo Ren helmet and puts it on. And there's this really dumb, like, she puts it on and then she starts breathing like Darth Vader. So she like puts it on.
Funny.
And it's just like, oh, really? Like, this is so... It's a really pathetic attempt at a member berry. It's also the thing I talk about all the time where it just makes everything revolve around the Skywalkers forever. And it's just like, you remember, you all saw that scene from, I believe it was Ahsoka, where like she sees like Anakin walking in the smoke, and like a blast of laser fire goes off, and the shadow that's illuminated turns into Darth Vader for a second.
He flashes into Vader.
Yeah. And it's that same level of like, isn't this deep? Look at everything is connected. And it's just like, dude, no, this is really sad. This is really pathetic.
Well, this is their attempt at making the Vader shadow from a Phantom Menace.
I know, yeah.
Boy, Anakin. That was their attempt at it, but it was bad.
But like, and that's the thing I don't think they get. It's in film and static imagery different, or like in static images, the way like imagery can work differently. So for Anakin, you do that one poster. It's very simple. It's a little boy with the big shadow, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the prequel. This is building up who he's going to be. Like, I get it. Very effective. You go into that scene and it's just like, we know who Anakin is. We literally, this is him like 10 minutes before he turns into a Sith. What is this supposed to, this isn't deep. This is you just going, I recognize that. It's Darth Vader. Oh my God. Like, and it's that's the exact reaction they want to get out of you here. I bet we could go on like Disney Shill Twitter, and everybody, there's probably hundreds of tweets that are like, I got chills from hearing the breathing. Oh my God, Star Wars is back. And it's just like, dude, this is the saddest stuff, like absolutely possible.
Well,
But
I found that its audience, it's a bunch of thirsty shippers. That's who
that is
its audience
100% who this audience is. And that relates to this little awful tidbit, which is apparently there is going to be a romance between Smilo Ren and O.R.C.A that is very Reylo-esque. So
yeah.
A couple days ago, Leslie Headland came out and she was giving an interview about the last episode, the one where with the lightsaber battle and the hair cutting and all that. And basically the interviewer was like, so what's up with, you know, the shipping there? Like, is there a romance between them? Like between O.R.C.A and Smilo? And Leslie was basically like, well, I don't want to give anything away. Let's just say I really like the term in A New Hope when Obi-Wan says Vader was seduced by the dark side. Seduce. I like that word. But I'm not gonna hint at anything that's like coming down the line. However, there was one fan fiction I read that was really prescient. So like basically she was like, I read that and it was lining up with what we wanted. So to that end, there are two things to sort of take away from this. One, this sort of reveals what the creative intent is behind this series. It's really not about exploring all the Jedi or really building upon that mythos. It's about a weird romantic ship fan fiction. Like that's truly what this is. And if you don't believe that, just look at what's his name? Well, the answer is Manny Jacinto, but Smilo Ren, his character, is basically Kylo. He's like a skinny little dude with long black like wavy hair. He's very pale. He's got like squinty eyes. Yeah.
I think Leslie kind of admitted it in the Collider interview that he's based off of Kylo, but she also said that that in the writers' room, they're basing this romance off of I can't remember the character's name from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I could not tell you anybody's name in that movie. It's been way too long since I've seen it.
They're revolving the romance from a couple from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I'm looking at this like, what?
So
really?
Like what?
The problem here is like this guy killed like her Jedi family, and then he ordered her sister to kill more of that Jedi family for like GTA 5 points or something.
Pretty much.
Points,
they haven't explained it.
She got a T-shirt out of it, maybe. You know, I killed all these Jedi, and all I got out of it was a T-shirt. But that's it.
Runner up Jedi killer.
Right, and so it's like, why? What? Like, she's a trained Jedi. She can read minds. She has the ability, or at least she's aware of that ability.
She's supposed to
like,
be, yeah.
She can at the very least do like the power sensing thing to know that this person's intent is not cool. But so what is this anyway? To begin with, like, let's zoom back out to the actual real world.
Yeah.
Here's a married lesbian woman writing a story about, I don't know what this is, like abusive, like you murdered my family, but gosh, you're so pretty. Romance. Like, well, what the hell?
So I don't know if you guys have delved into this, but there is a saying that, you know, in the world of romance novels, the things that women write about would make anybody blush, because I don't know if you guys have ever cracked open a romance novel. Those are some of the absolute like filthiest, most depraved, like get your rocks off, girl, sure, but like weird. You don't look like they are like lots of like captive force, you know, forcing themselves on the women, taking the women, you know, hitting the women, throwing them across. It's really, really crazy. And again, you know what? Like, I love that dichotomy, because it's like, that's what women write about in their like romance fantasies. You know what men write about? They write about Peter Parker being in a happily married relationship with a woman who actually supports him. Like, and that's
poetry.
And pottery. It rhymes. But yeah, so like that to me is sort of that's what you're seeing. Leslie obviously comes from this world of fan fiction, of romance fan fiction in particular, and that's what she's bringing here into The Acolyte and this relationship. this is just one of the, like, the thing here is, you're not wrong, Cider. It is really messed up. It's really weird. But this also goes back to, I don't understand what it is. And obviously there's probably some social theory or like political theory that I'm just like not remembering. But I don't know what it is about like that that dynamic is what really speaks to all those female viewers. And in turn, I guess that's who they are aiming for, like Nerdigans was talking about. Because so last night I had like I couldn't watch the episode. I had some stuff to take care of at night. So I was on Twitter, searching the Acolyte just to make sure, is there something that happened that I need to get to and cover right now? Like, what is happening? And all of the tweets, I found nothing about, here's how the story's going, here's how the plots happened, here's what Master Soul is up to. Every single tweet I was looking at was like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. Oh my gosh, girl, what are you going to do? Oh, I can't take this. They're so cute together. And I'm just like, why do you keep picking the worst representatives for the stuff you want to see? Like, it's so baffling. What do you...
It's like trans activists. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, Spencer, but I've been dealing with the trans Yamato activists again. They came back.
They're always going to come back. They're never going away.
Like a locust.
Like
they really are.
It's like, come on. And you know what the best part about this whole, at least this time, is Oda came out and called a fan out on their lack of reading comprehension. So now we have a meme.
Where is that? Why didn't you send that to us? Why are we not covering that? Like, send that tip here. That is amazing.
Their lack of reading comprehension.
Yeah, that is amazing.
It was for a different question. It wasn't involving Yamato, but yeah, it was for a lack of reading comprehension. But yeah, that's still pretty incredible. There's actually something. I just remembered this. Harada was roasting Western fans. Over
you're talking Harada, the Tekken director.
Yeah. Yes. Over like some, because he talks to Western fans about like different things, and he was, how that Twitter meme about like you're talking about like pancake waffles, it's like a completely different tweet.
Yeah,
literally
Twitter is the only platform where you can say I like pancakes and somebody will say, oh, so you hate waffles? What the fuck? No, that's a completely different sentence. I know that tweet very much. Yeah, that
literally happened, and it was about like game business and whatnot, and he literally like had a tweet that basically was that, and I saved it, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make that a meme.
But yeah, see, like we need more creators like that pushing back and saying like, you guys are kind of stupid. Your comprehension of what this is supposed to be doesn't work. Otherwise, if you don't get people pushing back, and like Cider said, let's pull it out, you get stuff like The Acolyte. Somebody at Disney, theoretically, Lucasfilm, Disney, the secret accountants that run everything, whatever. Like, somebody should have been going, we're going to pay more than the budget, like triple the budget of Godzilla -1 to make a 6-episode live action fan fiction. Like, somebody up there should have gone, let's, maybe that isn't what we do. I don't even like her, and I know it's going to be a disaster, but like Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie, that makes sense to greenlight. That's a Rogue Squadron movie for Star Wars. This is weird. This is not for like us, like old school Star Wars fans. I don't even think it's for new Star Wars fans outside of the Reylo shippers, because there's
horny Star Wars.
It's for the same demographic that they were going for with She-Hulk, which is that late 20s, mid 30s single wine aunt, wine mom who gets their thinks tweeting is activism and thinks that like Kamala Harris is just the best. Like, that's who they're appealing to here, letting them live out their weird, like, what is even the term? Like, weird, safe, dangerous fantasies, right? Like in She-Hulk, you have the fantasy of, oh, she got so mad she was able to like bust out of the room or whatever because of misogyny and all that. And it's like, okay, I can sort of see maybe what you were going for, but did you really need, like, that's not something you spend a bunch of money on to make it the entire point of your show. But that's a digression. But it's a power fantasy in the sense that it's like, oh yeah, look at her. The narrative of the show is presenting her as the hero for, bashing everything in. Let's get her. This is like wish fulfillment. And that's the same thing that it's like that safe horny where it's like, oh, Manny the Smilo Ren is so mysterious and brooding and dangerous. But in real life, they wouldn't want to deal with anybody who was more unsafe than, like, I don't know, a guy who has to use one of those grips to open Soylent. So it's just, this is fan fiction. The fact I think what is being missed with this headline and a lot of the story is that, not like, yes, this is a fan fiction show and it's all about shipping and yada, yada, yada. But with Leslie's statement about, oh yeah, I read a fan fiction and it was pretty like on point, that just tells me that a normal average fan fiction writer out there is either A, better than you, or B, able to read exactly what you are doing 400 steps ahead. And that's not impressive. That means you are being overpaid. That means none of this should be going down. And like, we have 2 more episodes. There's going to probably be one lightsaber fight that everybody oohs and ahs over, and then I bet we get a kiss.
Spencer, I think it should be more worrying, actually.
Yeah,
because you've read fan fiction before, and you've read lady-authored fan fiction before. So if Leslie's saying that's pretty much what happens, I think the Game of Thrones blowjob might be blown out of the water.
Oh, I mean, if Leslie has her way and this is truly the premier television that they were trying to make it out to be, then yeah, we might get some like really graphic stuff at the very end there. I wouldn't be surprised, because to me, that's the only Hail Mary this show has left. The characters aren't that interesting. The plot has really gone nowhere. The characters flip motivations every 30 seconds. Like, it's the only thing this show has left to sort of define itself is put graphic butts in Star Wars. Like, but even to your point, Cider, like, yeah, it's lady fan fiction. We saw that with the lesbian space witches. Like, that is completely 100% out of like a fan fiction, and the thread and all of this stuff. It's just, yeah, again, I think you brought this up weeks ago, but the fact that it's fan fiction is it's not a bug, it's a feature. That's why they put it in this era, in this very, very early High Republic era, so they can go, all right, here's our project. Now you guys have to make it work. You have to make the canon fit. You have to link this all up. Who cares how stupid we make something? That's your problem now. Kai Mundi, who cares? You deal with that. The Sith being killed by a little dagger. Oh, you kill that, or you deal with that. Like, it's that they know there's not a lot here substance wise, so they're kind of pulling out all the tricks they can to define themselves in some way. And that's just sort of where we're at with Star Wars now, where we're at with most of these franchises, is directionless. Not even there's pandering, but it's like directionless, giving anybody free reign to do whatever they want.
It's like 50 Shades of Star Wars. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is like, it really is that. And that is that what we really wanted out of this? Is that, like, I'm not going to say there's no market for that, even among like old school Star Wars fans. I'm sure there are some ladies who would have loved seeing this, but is this the sort of thing you make into a $300 million live production, or is this something you
make it to a book? This is something you put on your Tumblr. This is something you put on your Angel Fire blog.
Right, and like, that's fine. What, the Angel Fire blog?
Wow. Wow, GeoCities, dude. Wow.
Dude, put my sparkly gifts up there, okay? I need those gifts
of
fire
text. You know what?
Yes.
I brought that up.
Goku going Super Saiyan.
I brought that up because it was part of an argument, part of the debate that happened with the trans activists the other day. Someone brought up the Angel Fire blog. I was like, oh god, I think it was Rama. It was a Rama half debate that happened.
You see, it's
did you guys did you talk about that last week?
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's where the Angel Fire. Remember the Angel Fire debate came up?
Yeah.
Last week, yeah, I had to bring that up. Angel
Fire. I'm so bummed because I'm very, very excited. I love Ranma 1/2. It's so funny. It was one of the first series I ever read when I was getting into manga. I just know that give it a couple months, and when that series starts airing again, I know it already started, but like it right now, it's like this is like the warning shot, like the full attack is coming.
Giselle. This is like what happened with Giselle with Bleach. and also what's happening right now with Senpai is an Otokonoko. It's already happening, and it's only going to get worse from here. Just like with my cat that's about to climb up on my my dresser again. Oh my God, Zeno, why? Why do you got to be fussy right now?
Because even she doesn't like the Acolyte.
No, he's a he. Stop transing my cat. Or
I'm very sorry. I was trying to crack its egg.
And Zeno meowed at that too. He did not like being misgendered.
Cat.
Bayona Red says, this guy killed her lesbian character. I'm kind of shocked they did kill off her character. And so you're right. It is really surprising that one of the very clearly gay characters in the show, which was X-23's whatever Darth Maul is, I'm like blanking on the name of the species, like they killed her off. Yeah, that's pretty surprising, especially in this day and age where you can't kill off your representation, right? But that sort of goes to my other point where this show doesn't have substance. It really can only establish itself with these big shock moments. Everybody died. Wasn't that so shocking? Oh my gosh. Oh, here's a new romance that's burgeoning between these two characters. Like they're going for all these really cheap, easy swings because nobody off of this show, nobody is going to go, oh man, remember that really cool Smilo Ren helmet? That's what we should all be like emulating. What people remember from the show is that Master Soul is pretty cool because the actor is like just a rad guy. And they're going to remember lesbian space witches. You might get one person who remembers the lightsaber and how it like cracks in half to become two, but those are the main takeaways. And if that's going to be your legacy, you got to, when you're in the editor's room, you got to go, oh, we really need to try and make it so people remember this for more than just lesbian space witches. So it's surprising, but it's also like rock in a hard place. What could they do?
No, Spencer, I know what
No.
it is. It's about. You have to understand what all the subtext is. What are we looking at?
Of course, yeah. I'm probably missing it.
See, this is what I like to do. Is it's the red letter media. You didn't see it, but your brain did.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. So what are you looking at on screen right now?
I am looking at Smilo Ren holding basically May or whichever one it is
May.
at gunpoint. Yeah, May at lightsaber point. Yeah.
Correct. All right. Now you and I see that, but to the Tumblrette, the lady Tumblr user, they see a man taking a woman's choice from her. And according to a 2020 study produced by Medium, 61% of us have a non-con fantasy. All right?
Of us as in people or as
It
in
says
women?
us.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a member-only story, so I can't get into it. I'm not a member. You know, Medium doesn't get my money.
Journalism is dying. Now pay us for, to get the truth. Like,
But
piss
here's
off.
the
Like-
here's the here's the subtext that really kind of gives away what Louise Sawyer 2.0 thinks about this. Okay, are we all really twisted, or perhaps just normal? Okay, and so what I want to bring you attention back to is what is this all about? We go all the way back up here to between O.R.C.A, the girl that's had this guy Kamir, this fellow right here, murder her family. She was a child when she was adopted by the Jedi, and either through direct action of his own lightsaber whirling through the bodies of her family, or her sister being manipulated by this guy into murdering members of her Jedi family. This guy has done nothing but strip her of every aspect of her identity. Now he's getting sexy with her. So that's what's happening here, is that he's taken her consent to love him away. And this is attractive to these Tumblrite women that go into this 50 Shades of Grey with their own personal cucumber and don't leave with it.
Oh,
they're not in there making a salad, gentlemen.
That was a thing.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, and they're not in there making a salad. So I'm just telling you, this is the same attitude of what was her name? Steele, the Virginia Steele, something like that. The character in 50 Shades, Steele. Carol, something, I don't know.
Something.
But, that was the attitude of hers, that she was.
You're talking about Anastasia Steele, by the way.
There we go. There we go.
I love those books. I've read them.
Women represent. We have our female representation. That's what you're here for.
I am. I know This is
on
a
our
guilty
50
pleasure
Shades.
series, okay? And I have the books on digital copies of the books that I sailed the 7 seas for on my computer. I've had them for like years now.
That's better
I
than
love
being
them.
in line at Barnes and Nobles to get them signed. So
No, why would I? I
Or
have
just like purchasing them in a group
I
setting.
have them in my OneDrive. I didn't pay for them. I digitally download them. I know how to sail the 7 seas for my books. The only books that I've gone to midnight releases for were for Harry Potter.
well, and see this
I didn't
is
even do those ones.
see this is it. Like, and R.J. McGrady points out, great fantasy among one of Harvey's friends. Sounds about right. So this is what you're seeing here. Is you're seeing a very degenerate twist in our society
Yeah.
becoming very public. Now, you can have
Yeah,
your like.
yeah.
We used to be a
Yeah,
bit more
yeah.
like Japan in that you could be privately weird. You could be as privately weird as you liked, so long as you kept it inside the four walls of your home and didn't involve the neighborhood or the nation at large these days. So, sorry, I have a hair in my tongue.
Oh my God,
But
Kat.
this is what we're looking at with O.S.A. and Kamir, is that a lesbian woman, a married lesbian woman, is writing a story about O.S.A. falling in love with the man who has murdered her family, her adopted family, okay? The only normalcy she's ever known, and is now getting touchy-feely with her. And she likes it.
Yeah.
This is an order of disturbing that's very difficult to talk about, because we hear about this what is that? Stockholm syndrome. We
Yeah.
hear about Stockholm syndrome quite a bit, but this isn't that. This is a person who has witnessed a murderer enter their family, murder them all, and then's like, I want me a piece
Woo.
of that.
Right. Yeah.
I really
Like,
like
there-
how you killed my Korean dad. Can you
And just like a quick like point to that is that for all the people raising Stockholm syndrome, it needs to be said, Stockholm syndrome takes like a couple days at the very least to kick in. What you're seeing here, she's for all intents and purposes at this point in the Acolyte, she's known
Ready
him
to
for like
go.
a day.
Yeah.
And so she saw that and just went, here we go, open up. Like it's that
I
point you
like
made
how-
about personal weirdness becoming public, like that. Woof.
I like how he can like not die to the moths. I like how he can not die to the moths.
I like
Ooh,
how he can
that's
force
cute.
heal too. Let's just bring back all of that crap.
Yeah, right. The Sith only thought they could take his foreskin away from him.
So, he's an SG Tau, a Sith going the other way.
Exactly right. The other way.
The other way.
Not his own way. It's the other way. Yeah, it's like Sidious is like, did I ever tell you the story of Darth Smilo? And Anakin's like, no. It's like, good.
Yeah, good.
We're not going to talk about him.
What is this missing record from the archives, Master? We do not talk about
We do
Smilo.
not talk about Smilo.
But I think, yeah, like I was saying, that point about how, like, again, non-con fantasies, whatever you want to call them, we know they exist. People have had them. They've been in these books for forever. But like Cider said, this is now it sort of, being put in the mainstream. And I would argue this is even more mainstream than making a movie like 50 Shades of Grey. Because 50 Shades of Grey, that's going to have its audience already. And it's like a niche sort of thing, even though it did pretty well. Star Wars is Star Wars. Once you add that to the canon of the giant global phenomenon, no matter how shitty it is right now, like people are going to take notice. And to me, this is just one more of those things, like, because Cider said it right. In Japan, you can keep it to yourself, whatever. That's how we used to do it here. But now every one of our like fetishes or kinks or whatever the hell you want to describe them as, preferences, like all of those are out there now, but they're not just out there. The problem is you have to be okay with it and you have to approve of it. Like us, if we, all of us here looking at this relationship and going, that seems weird, that seems like it's not exactly the healthiest thing, we're going to be in the wrong. I guarantee you we're
not allowed to judge.
Right, exactly. We're not. I guarantee starting like tonight or tomorrow, there are going to be interviews coming out with Leslie where she talks about how, oh yeah, I put this, fantasy in here because it's empowering. I don't know, but they're going to just try. You can't sit here and go, that's weird, that's wrong. What the hell are you guys doing? You have to go, what a choice. Like, I can't, like, this is beautiful. You guys are writing the best ever. Or you're a racist, or you're a bigot, or you're insert whatever derogatory term they want to throw out at you. So I guess at the end of the day with The Acolyte, it's still not worth watching. It is not shaping up to be anything you would want to watch. And you are not missing out on anything if you are not watching it. Watch everybody else's content. Like, I know Drinkers watching it. I know the guys over at World Class Bullshitters are watching it. Like the folks over at Park Place, like WDW Pro. It's more entertaining to watch breakdowns than to actually engage with the series, because it's just boring. It's bad.
Well,
it's
Jeremy
sad.
pointed this out. Geeks and Gamers, he's pointed this out a couple times now. He
Jeremy
said that what we're seeing is a shift in the paradigm of how to absorb media, how to entertain, how to receive entertainment. Is that people want to see how other people react to that media before they give it a chance now. There's no more going to have a
Interesting.
conversation after we see The Acolyte. Now we are tuning in to hear people who did watch The Acolyte tell us how bad The Acolyte is.
That's sad.
That's the shift that has happened now.
The shift is happening. And Nerdigans, I do think it is sad, but this is one of those situations that we talk about all the time. They kind of have nobody to, like, this is the fault of Hollywood. They put out so much crap and so much garbage, and then, charge us exorbitant amounts of prices to see them. What are we supposed to do? We can't go see all these movies now and then just go, that was a waste of $5. What a bummer. Now it's like, for example, I went out to Inside Out 2 with my family, which is a family of, there were 5 of us in total who went to go see the movie. We all got, tickets, and then we all got like a drink. Like, I got like an icy, people got candy. It was like $90 total for that entire trip. And it's just like, yeah. And it's like luckily my parents, are kind of okay off. So it wasn't a big hit, but it was like, we don't do that often because it's insane. That's the first time we've done that as a family and gone to see a movie, because we don't want to risk spending that $90 on something that's absolutely terrible. So this is really just a problem all their own. they really have no one to blame.
At this point.
Well,
most people do, especially because this is just a quick side rant, then we'll move on. Side rant. It's just the audacity of theaters to go, why are we all dying? What's going on? And then they go, oh, that new movie we just released, 10 days in theaters. Now go see it on streaming. That is why all your theaters are dying. It's not an event anymore. It's just it's basically like getting a pre-order bonus, and people can wait for pre-order bonuses to be released later. So that's the state we're in right now.
I want to show you something, actually.
Well, I do want to bring this up too.
Because
we've been talking about it for a while. It's like, and we'll talk about Demon Slayer in the process. It's like, you have all these anime movies that don't go to streaming right away, readily available. You have a built-in audience. You just have to market them and give them more than like one showing for one day.
It's easy, right?
It's not that hard to do. You'd get so many butts and seats easily.
Well,
but no, they don't want to do that. They want to show crap movies in theaters instead.
Well, to Nerdigan's point though about putting these things on streaming services, right? This is about people that are under 40. This is youth video diet. So we're gonna say this is probably like 25 to 15 to 25. Oh no, it says 13 to 24 years old. Sorry, just 13 to 24 years old. 67% say they can't live without YouTube. Only 51% say they can't live without Netflix. Of course, Disney Plus isn't part of this. They're kind of lobbing all that together, right? They're kind of lobbing it all together as video streaming. So this is what I want to break down, dude. And social media doesn't matter, and fucking cable, who cares? It's grandpa stuff. But this YouTube thing about being 67%, I couldn't bring it up fast enough, but it's out there somewhere. There's a study that came out 2 years ago. It was about millennials, something like I don't know, 40% of Netflix's millennial audience just dropped one day, and they all showed up on YouTube. Like, millennials just one day just up and decided to embrace, like, we're gonna watch Let's Plays, we're gonna watch people build things, we're gonna watch people complain about pop culture, but we're not gonna watch stupid streaming shows that go on forever and have no meaning. And that
Well,
there's been
or
this
no, keep going.
decided shift, right? Like PewDiePie is still gigantic despite the
Yeah.
dearth of content he's gone through recently now that he's a father. And that's because our age group is primarily engaged on YouTube, not with cable, not with streaming, not even really with X or Twitter. This space is where a lot of people focus their attention now.
Well, that's despite the algorithm like trying to destroy small creators.
Right of center. Yep.
And
Right.
you know
But-
what? This is, but I got the fact that I got YouTube support to admit that they've been doing it to my channel for.
Oh,
over
I saw
5
that. Yeah,
years
I saw
is
that.
insane. And I actually, one of my longtime viewers said, I saw a comment from them. They were like, "This is the first time in a long time that I watched your content because I couldn't find the algorithm was. I couldn't see you in the algorithm. Couldn't find you." I'm like, well, yeah, you proved my. Thanks for proving my point, and that YouTube is screwing me like this because people don't believe me. I'm like, well, I got receipts to prove it. I'm probably going to post it on Twitter again, especially since I've like tripled or quadrupled the number of subscribers I have now. Maybe get something done from it finally.
Right. Take advantage of that Twitter blue, girl.
I got to, because this is getting ridiculous. Because it's not. I'm not the only person that's screwing over. I'm just the person that I got them to confess to.
And I mean, like that's always going to happen. But I think to that point, Nerdigans, the fact that I guarantee you, channels like ours, like Geeks and Gamers, Critical Drinker, they don't get boosted in the algorithm, right?
No,
that's
they get
a lot
boosted
of
in the
that.
algorithm. No, this channel
Now they do. Now they do. Now that their reaches a certain point on YouTube where once you have like constant like millions of views per every video, the algorithm just it overrides, right? It goes, this is what people are viewing. We have to show this to people because people will view it. There are ads, we'll get them. So like nowadays, Drinker, Geeks and Gamers, they get that kind of push. Back in the day, like when Drinker was just starting out, like a year or two, or like 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't getting that kind of push. But people were going to specifically find them and go, oh, I heard this guy is good. Forget that mainstream stuff. I don't want to go see Netflix. I want to go see this random person because I can trust them more. And that's like the big differentiator now.
That was how it was back in like when did I really got my boost in views back in like I think it was before COVID, right before COVID hit. That's when I think the smaller creators were really getting their boost in views. That's when the shift I think that Cider was talking about was happening, was like right at the start of COVID. That's when the shift really happened, I want to say.
I would say yes, but here's what I think, that there's another element in play with that shift in youth, like viewers. Kids are like an extremely fickle group. They are, obviously they will follow trends. They will go with the flow more than anybody. And that's why you see a lot of things, remember Disney Infinity? That game was huge for a while. Gone. I mean, I know Disney canceled support for it, but it's like kids don't care about it anymore. Pogs were giant when I was a kid. Yeah. Nobody plays that anymore, right? Storm Riders. Yes, I remember that.
Gone. Yep.
Completely gone. So like a lot of it
talking about our age demographic though, because that's what Cider was referring to, was our age demographic. There was that shift where everyone just left Netflix and went to YouTube. And what I'm thinking is because this is when I noticed, like when I had my boost in views, it was right before COVID. It was like, I want to say around 2017, 2018-ish. That's when I think the shift happened.
Well, we know that shift did happen because it's not what you're describing. The shift that happened was not specifically, oh, we hate little creators. It was, oh, we're fighting COVID misinformation, so let's kill the smaller channels. We don't want the guy with 5 followers, getting promoted to everybody. That's what it was. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying that's what it was. And that led to the effect of smaller creators getting completely crapped on.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, nobody knows more about, small creators getting crapped on and getting harangued by the algorithm than Jacob. Yeah. What's up, man?
I was going to do a bit about how I was muted too, but then I didn't get an intro. So there goes. And that's why Hiroshima didn't go far enough. Did we just start there was a whole thing before it? Shit. All right.
Got him.
My favorite clip. No, we don't. It wasn't Hiroshima didn't go far enough because it stopped there and it didn't go to Canada. Every day I keep hearing more and I am an anti
Canada maybe
like,
pound for
border
pound like
builder.
the worst country on earth right now. Like it's that bad.
I saw this discourse going around on Twitter where people were like, Canada, honest question, do you have any identity that isn't just we're not America? And it's like, no, they really don't. You dirty Leafs.
Mother conductors.
But yeah, anyway, we just got done talking about the Acolyte. We were talking about how YouTube hates smaller streamers, how they keep smashing all of our views. We were talking about the shift between like everybody used to watch Netflix and now everybody watches YouTube. So that's where we're at.
Well, I know that we're going to have a few opinions about this one, so I'll bring it back up because I'm still
Bring
kind of
it up.
beside myself that Redbox was around still to go out
Yeah.
of business. I was like, whoa.
They only
didn't go out of
just
business.
now filed for Chapter 11.
Yeah,
That's
right?
what
I
I'm
think they
saying.
would have done it when they stopped doing the video game rental services back in 2019.
That's when that to me, I was like, oh, they're dead now. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's when I
just
thought they went out of business.
yeah.
This
so
is
did I.
like hearing that Blockbuster is still around. It's like, wait,
Right?
what? There's still one left?
It's the same
There
with
was-
Toys R Us. They're still in Canada.
I was
Wow.
just watching a movie. Frick, I'm gonna look up my letterbox real quick. I don't remember what movie it was, but it was something super recent. And the company they partnered with to advertise was freaking Blockbuster. Oh, it was Madam Web. That's what it was. In the background of a scene, like when she's driving, there's a giant shot of like a Blockbuster video, and it's like, really? What even? Who bought that? Who paid for that advertising? Like, I don't
No.
get that.
Nobody did. Remember, Captain Marvel had it. They think they're clever. But, it's so
By just saying,
90s,
like,
Every
guys.
movie
Right,
that's set in
yeah.
the past has to have a Blockbuster in it. Because
That's
that
how
way
you know it's in the
film is
past.
Yeah.
Right? We won't know you're in ancient Egypt unless there's a pyramid in the background.
Unless there's a
Otherwise, you're just
pyramid.
in
But
the
you see,
desert.
all the normies know about Blockbuster, but only the real ones remember Hollywood Video.
Right. Or
That's the
movie
one I
gallery,
like.
right?
Mhm.
See, I
Or
didn't have a movie-
Suncoast.
Suncoast. So I remember
The
Suncoast.
OG.
I liked Suncoast because I remember as a kid, you go in and they had anime and like anime toys, and you were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
But then
What
they
is
charge
this?
like $900 for it. Like I
All
remember,
of your allowance. Forever.
right? Like a DVD. Here's a Dragon Ball Z DVD. It's got 4 episodes. That'll be $70, please. Like, and that's back in like, yeah, that's back in like 2000s money. It's like, what? I guess. And then you like grow up, and nowadays, like I can buy those DVDs for like $0.01. Like they're
This
nothing.
is why you go to you went to Tower Records or you went to Rasputin's.
I
like,
didn't
No,
have
I'm
the-
sorry.
I didn't have the
In
tower.
Southern California, we had a little place called Warehouse Music. You remember that whole place?
Yes, we did. Yes, we
I remember
did.
Warehouse.
You used to
So,
go there. They used to let you listen to used CDs for free.
Henry.
It was the same thing with Rasputin's though, and Amoeba Records too. Like you got to listen to music for free.
Yeah.
Henry Thrun says, I still see them at gas stations. I'm sorry, I hear that as like a Vietnam veteran who's like, there's red boxes in the trees, boys.
I mean, at this point, I mean that kind of follows up on what RJ says right there. I still see this one red box kiosk at a store that's been closed for a year. Like
It's
at
just
this
like
point, they're just-
That one like Groove Max or Winco that's just
Right.
there.
Instead of like like napalm and like gunshots in the background, you just hear like Mr. Movie Phones like commercials like going on in the background as you walk in.
movie phone. Hell yes. Bring that. I mean, I guess that's just what apps are nowadays. But yeah, I remember.
Mhm.
I
Just
remember.
say, I'm sorry, I have to say that when you say like instead of the napalm and stuff like that, it just makes me think of like the protests in 2020, like when my friends and I would joke in the chat about like all the LARPers in the trees.
Was there napalm there?
Like they no, that would be like the freedom fog or the tear gas. There was
Amazing.
I've seen a lot of stupid shit on those streams. You have no idea.
You know,
I've seen,
Nerdigans, there's some days that I just wish that I can just be in your brain for a couple of seconds. And then I realized that would probably be
my
a
bipolar
terrible
brain.
endeavor to be in.
You do not want to be in
SOS,
my bipolar
emergency.
ADHD brain. It is not a fun place.
Well, speaking of difficult environments, the God of War writer Alana Pierce argues that Elden Ring is just too hard for disabled people who have children, or rather, people who are disabled because they have children.
Yeah. So this story is a little clickbaity, but a lot stupid. So I'm just going to break it down. So Alana Pierce, you guys might know her. She is a pretty prominent video game personality. She used to write for IGN. She was on Rooster Teeth for a while, and now she currently works at Sony Santa Monica Studio. She was a writer on the God of War Ragnarok that just came out. And so a couple days ago, she posted a video where she was talking yet again about Elden Ring, difficulty around it, and gamers with disabilities who play it. Now, her request is sort of her main thesis isn't too absurd. Too absurd. It's a little off base, but it's not that egregious. She basically says, for people who have issues in life, maybe they can't play straight, or they might need to readjust, a pause button would be something helpful. And you don't need, the way to sort of solve the problem of oh, did you really beat it? Blah, blah, blah. Is just at the very end of the game, have a completion screen that says, oh, you beat it with this off, or you beat it with this filter on. A lot of video games do that, right? They'll deny you your achievement if you used a cheat, or so on and so forth. So that argument isn't too insane. I personally disagree, because I think, being active in that world and experiencing it in real time is part of Elden Ring and FromSoft's appeal. The dumb part is that we really, really, really need to stop this self-victimization narrative, because she literally brings up, there are people with disabilities. So, there are people with long-term disabilities, which are, chronic injuries or whatever. There are people with short-term disabilities.
Right up at the infograph right here.
Oh, you do have it up. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So this is situational disabilities are like a situation that you have. There are temporary ones where you might hurt yourself, and there are permanent ones. So she's just saying throw a pause button in for people who might need them in these situations.
This little bugger here that was attempting to knock over my stuff. I mean, right. That is a situational disability right there, where he was constantly knocking over my things.
That is, but I think what the hell we need to talk about is it's not a disability, and to call oh, I have a cat. Oh, I'm waiting for a pizza to come to the door. Oh, I have to watch my kid. To start labeling this crap as disability, I've never seen a bigger attempt to wave a victim flag. Be look, I am included. I am disabled as well. It's no, you're not. You just don't have, you can't play right now.
Let me just break it down in a very, very simple term. A lot of people are retarded, and this is kind of the end result of other people's retardation. Now, we've gone here to the point where everyone has to be some sort of insert victim here, and disability is one of the new victim classes that you can hold. So it's if I can somehow portray to the world that I have something that's keeping me from being a normal functioning person of society, and all of a sudden it's oh, I'm disabled now. It's no, you're just a twat.
That's exactly it. That's what really gets me, is that these are the same people. They're going, oh, I'm disabled. I'm like the guy over there who doesn't have legs that got blown off in Afghanistan, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's no.
Oh, I have myofibrosis. Yeah, I'm definitely disabled now. It's stop.
Deep vein thrombosis.
Mm-hmm.
Like this right here saying
I have a thyroid issue.
being
a heavy accent.
Being a bartender is a situational disability. This is what I This is.
I drive a Prius.
Can I ask you something, Spencer?
Yeah.
Picture this for a minute, right? So you're playing the Elden Ring game, right? But you're Scottish. You have too heavy of an accent. You're I need you to pause the game because I can't swear at you fast enough. I gotta pause the game so I can swear at you.
well, that's my question about that point. Is it heavy accent like, am I disabled if I have the accent and you can't understand
Is
me,
the
or am
game
I disabled,
disabled?
or am I disabled if I can't understand you? Like, who gets the disability here? I don't, and like, there's a lot of questions that open up with that.
I
But
know
this
some
is just
bartenders that are disabled, but maybe not for
This is the
medical
modern
reasons.
equivalent of like those commercials like 11 in the morning. Be like, did you take Advil somewhere between 2002 and 2026? You may be titled to financial compensation. But it's like, it's literally like that. The guy like sitting there watching like, oh my God, that happened to me.
that was me. Oh my
Mhm.
God. And then the lawyer that he calls from the TV gets a commission or whatever. Like 100% that's what it is. It's
So,
just, yeah.
I just want to
You're
attract
not
your
disabled.
attention to the distracted driver one. It's like, why are you playing video games, bro? Y'all
That's
need
what I
to be
mean, like,
driving, man.
why are
Stay
you
in your
playing? Why are
lane,
you,
dude?
if you're at work as a bartender, you shouldn't be playing a video game. This isn't a situational. You're not. It's a
Nah,
not
man.
a
He's making
disability.
martinis.
You're busy. You're
playing
just
Elden
busy.
Ring. He's
Like-
making martinis playing Elden Ring, dude.
It's just so.
This was the worst example to use for this. Like, I kind of
Well,
when I looked more into it in
Yeah.
terms of the industry, because I did a thread on this and looked more into it. I understand what they're talking about. They're talking about things that like impair you from playing the game. So like
Yep.
like
Right, yeah, that's what it said, yeah.
like what's been happening with me throughout this stream. I've had to
Right.
like mute and turn off my camera because Zeno was knocking things over. In terms
Right.
of like, there's games that you can't pause on. So what she's saying is she wants to make it so
Yeah.
in terms of a situational disability, like if your kid is having a fit, well, the game, and you need to go take care of them, like they're crying
Right.
in a non-pausing game. Have it to where the game can pause so you can go take care of the kid.
Right.
That's the kind of thing she's talking about.
Well, right. And well, that's what I said at the top is like her main request here is not unreasonable. The addition of a pause button is not that insane. I mean, we've heard this same discussion raised with Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, 3, like all of these games. A lot of people go, we need a pause button. But
Or
there's a
volume
way.
adjuster too for like if the kid's asleep and
Well, but see, like that's a different. That's an accessibility. That's just volume sliders. Like that's a really simple thing. That's not what this is. Like
yeah.
this is the core problem here is not that she's asking for a pause
just
button.
how it's
Obviously, exactly. We don't need to be calling this a disability. We could have easily made 900 think pieces that just said, "Yo, it's kind of inconvenient that there's no start button." What if I need to go get a package? What if my kid is colicky? What if my cat's knocking shit over? But
What if
instead
I
of just
realize
going-
I left my pizza in the oven too long?
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
no.
Like oh,
But
that
something
that is
something
a
else that
pause
she
button's
said,
good
though,
for that.
But
Yeah,
something
go
else
ahead.
that she said though is that this is an industry term and it's been around
Right.
like long before she entered the
Well,
industry.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Cider pulled up there was a Microsoft design document explain like that came from Microsoft,
Yeah.
which is like, but so like, at the end of it, the request for the start button is not insane in and of itself, but trying to say that this stuff is a disability, now you're just saying stuff to say stuff. There's no
Well-
substance to what you're saying.
Spencer,
How did these people like how did any of these people survive like the Genesis era? Like remember a time where like you didn't even have like save points and
where's
Right.
an arcade cabinet, dude? Where's the pause button on the 50-cent machine that keeps you
Yeah.
hanging around all day? This
Right.
is my
Hey.
my argument about this. If you
Yeah.
if you want a pause button, there's Mega Man, there's Pokemon, there's all sorts of the myriad of other thousands of games that are just like Dark Souls lets you pause your shit. And it's basically Elden Ring
Yeah.
with a pause button. So just do that. What I have to say to people is that if spelunkying isn't your thing, don't spelunky.
But see, like that right there, Cider, like I knew that's the point you were coming to too. And like the realization I came to is like the problem, it's the same thing we see with all of media. It's like they can't accept if something is not for them. It has to be for them.
One
Otherwise,
size fits all.
right. And so that's where we get with these things where like I know, we all know, anybody here who played video games, kind of like the example Cider just brought up, you know what games you can play in a time frame. Oh, I've got 5 hours. I can load up a deep RPG. Oh, I've only got 10, 20 minutes to hang out. well, I'm not going to get really into a long multiplayer match because I might have to go at any minute. Oh, I'm just like dicking around until my ride shows up. I'm not going to get really invested into something because it could end at any second. Or like back to the arcade. It's like, I'll go to the arcade and I'll play with the full risk. Like, oh, maybe my mom's coming. Maybe I have to go. Maybe I won't get to finish. Maybe something happens. But you don't go, oh, I'm disabled because of that. That's a disability. You got to cater to me. It's sort of one of those, that's fucking life. Like, shit happens. You gotta take some personal responsibility and be like, oh, I don't have the time for that. Okay, I won't do that right now. Not go, I don't have the time for that. You need to make it so that I can fit that into my time. And it's like, no, get over yourself. Like,
there's Candy Crush. All right?
There's Candy Crush. There's mega, like you said, there's so many. We live in an era where
I was at the arcade and mom made me go home when I was only on level 6. I'm technically disabled because I wasn't allowed to finish the game.
That's exactly what they're getting at. And I'm just like, how do you listen to yourself? How do you go out in public with this sort of mentality? And you know, like, this is a very new like way of thinking, right? A situational disability. So these people who promote and like use this term, they're like, what am I trying to say here? They weren't born in it. They weren't molded by it. Well, I mean, they are. They weren't born in it. They weren't molded by it. They merely adopted it, which means they, at some point in their lives, they knew the regular way. Like, sometimes shit happens. Sometimes you won't be able to pause. And somebody told them about this, and they went, oh, I can use that to get what I want. I am disabled. You're right. I can get some points off of that because I don't know about you, but if somebody's like, oh, yeah, you're disabled because you couldn't pop or like you had to go, I'd be like, dude, I'm not disabled. I just had shit going on. What is wrong with you? It's the constant infantilization of our society.
It's kind of like,
it's annoying.
I gotta compare. It's like what's happening with Disability Pride Month. I didn't know that this was a thing, and apparently it started in 2019. Which, of course, everything started in.
Is this? Hold on. Is that a Pride night? Like, is it like to celebrate? Well, hold on. Is it to celebrate disabled people or disabled gay people?
Disabled people.
Okay, then yeah.
But I saw this, and I like this, like.
I'm sorry. Disabled
like my.
It's time to hit the button, Jacob. It's time to hit the button.
Look, here's the thing. Fine. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
I would have more. I would have more respect if these people whining came out and said that instead of going, "No, I'm not retarded. You're just mean."
I needed a whole month to let people know that I'm not retarded.
like these
silly.
So what is the opposition? Like, who's the enemy of like disabled like Pride Month? Like a street corner without like a ramp?
Yeah,
is like
exactly. Stairs, a ramp.
Oh my god! No, the disabled pride flag has got to be like some of it. I'm actually represented because I am technically disabled, bipolar, and general anxiety.
Yeah, you have a cat. You have a cat that's distracting you. That's a disability.
As a situational.
I have a cat. I'm basically retarded.
Hold on. In all seriousness, though, under the American Disabilities Act, I am disabled.
Right.
So, but and this flag actually recognizes I'm disabled, which is surprising. But let me pull this up.
I didn't know there was a flag. Like, okay, you have to slow down here because, like, I just found out the month exists like 3 seconds ago. Now you're telling me that there's a flag. Like, we're progressing way too quickly here.
I know. I saw this and I'm just like, what the hell? Is this the one that I need? Yeah, here it is. Let me pull.
Crooked rainbow.
Here, just look it up on Google. It's
those rainbow stairs are the end. There you go.
Oh man.
Said the disabled flag's just a rainbow flag out of crayons.
No.
It is. Oh no.
Oh shoot.
It looks like a Power Rangers ad.
Oh no.
Oh
no, did you get like the meaning of it too? Oh my god.
What?
Like the black part of it. The black part of it is just like a huge what the fuck, because
it's the blind part. It's for the blind people.
No, it's for like the ableists that attack, the people that are victim of ableist violence.
What?
So they divide everybody there? Is that what they do? All those victims are dividing everybody? There's like a ditch of victims between all the groups.
Here it is. Oh god, the spelling is bad here, but here it is. Let me send this to you because this is so dumb.
This is legit what comes up on Wikipedia when I search.
You know,
disabled
That's the
pride
old
flag.
one. That's the
this is sort
original
of
one.
like this is sort of tangentially related, but Cider, you know what this reminds me of, and it's not even that. It
Here's
reminds
the
me
new
of
one.
it reminds me of Nexus, like Mike Barron's Nexus, like
Oh, that's
the cult outfit.
Oh, whoops! I sent this.
This is stupid. What are we doing here? Like, where is the society? Like, how did we get here? This is so
Is it
dumb.
the theme song for Disabled Pride Month?
Get that kazoo.
Here's a diagram explaining this.
Oh my god.
Look at this.
It's only gonna get worse. This show's gonna go off the rails very quickly.
Oh, it already has, my friend, and we are on that ride. Okay, the Blackfield Morning Rage Rebellion protest.
Oh yeah, of course. Keep the Blackfield all the angry things, right?
Dude, what am I even looking at here? What are they trying to describe to me? Like,
this is explaining the disabled pride flag. Don't you know?
The way they did this. This is an awful graphic. Like, I'm just baffled
There's
by
a
how
better
awful.
one.
Like,
I'm trying to find the better
like
one.
why are you pointing over here? Like, the diagonal band cutting across barriers. Except you're all segmented. Like, that's not.
They're
that
all in
shows
black. Don't you
barrier.
understand? They're all black. Everybody's
the-
black. Don't
What
you
are the
see?
5 colors, Cider?
Black, 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 and black. Can't you see that?
No, I needed the colors for the disabled pride flag, not the George Floyd Memorial American flag.
It's like ketchup stain, mustard stain, toothpaste stain. I don't know what's blue, like anal lube blue, and then like grass stain.
The pacifier colors.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I have it.
It's like a faded version too. So it's like, man, just rub it in that life fucking sucks when you're
Like,
disabled, dude.
that's what I
even
mean,
the
like-
rainbow's not as bright when you're disabled, dude. Like, fuck off. Fuck all the way off, man. Holy shit. And it's
not-
surrounded by
here it
darkness. You
That's what I was
motherfuckers
gonna
get
bring
out
up.
of line.
Like,
It's
you
into
do
the
not-
void with you.
Yeah, you did not get any of this. Like,
I love
you get
this.
you get 5 colors, but that's it. Shut up,
Oh,
sit down.
no.
Spider, I found a better one. Here,
Oh
I
boy,
found the
it gets
official-
better.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's from the
no.
American Disability one. Here's the ones with the colors. It explains it.
Oh,
This
okay,
is
so
just
it actually-
rapidly turning into like the shit posting segment of our show.
It feels like it.
Well, it gets
Well,
better. Here,
I'm with you, Jacob. Like, I just had my entire world rocked by this information, and I'm learning way more than I thought. Like, there's a flag. Things represent this. Like, what are
Yeah,
we doing here?
It's like all this means is the black. It's the black background, which is more so like a faded charcoal, but still not actually black. So don't get mad at us. It's not actually black.
It's like, what's the parade gonna look like? Is it gonna be just like a bunch of people with wheelchairs, or just gonna be like a bunch of like women with their like support ferrets or something
If
like
you
that?
stand, if you're standing up at that show, like, you're gonna be able to see the entire parade down.
well,
like,
by the
to
way,
very
Halo
end.
tweeted about it too, per usual. The woke Halo.
But like,
So,
they tweeted about pride or about disabled like pride.
Disability Pride.
so I just want
I don't know.
to.
I'm sorry. I'm just old enough to remember a time where like disabilities weren't something to be proud of. Like,
Yeah, you know,
Why?
it's like,
Like, I remember a time when pride, in terms of gay pride, was about, fighting for your right to actually exist.
And now it's about
just
Deloitte.
about, like,
yeah.
parking the streets.
So
Here, like with disability pride, from what I'm seeing, especially with all the fuckery that I'm dealing with, and I've seen like other chronic pain patients are dealing with. This is basically patronizing as hell.
Shout out to Pete.
Yeah, because
So-
Pete's
I mean,
dealing
like,
with it,
yeah.
and, I mean, my late significant other, because of the
Right,
chronic
right.
pain stuff, he died because of it.
I forgot about that. Yeah, exactly.
He
But,
couldn't
like-
get access to his medication, so he had to turn to street drugs, and that's why he ended
But
up.
and that's what you will learn. Like, with most, I mean, obviously, like LGBT pride, they have their own issues. That's a whole different conversation. But with most of these like niche pride organizations, you're gonna learn nerdigans like it's kind of like on Tumblr or Twitter, the ones who go around going like, I'm so bipolar, like it's so quirky, like I can't wait to be depressed or whatever. That's right. The people who actually suffer from things like this, they don't like to brag about it. It's not, they want to get through their lives, they want to deal with it. It sucks. The people who start these, like I'm sure 99% of these organizations are started by somebody who just believes like, yeah, I shouldn't feel bad about being disabled. But the people who run in and promote it like this, they're the ones who just want to wear this as like a fashion statement. They make this flag so that, they can advertise to you, I'm disabled. Like, check me out. I'm special for being disabled. And it's like, you're not. It's an unfortunate accident and we want to help you, but what's the specialness here? I don't.
What makes it worse is like, what makes it worse?
People just want to take pride in things that aren't actual achievements. That's kind of the biggest problem with our society right now. It's like, it's not like any of these things that people are taking pride in right now actually require any kind of skill in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. They just want to have pride in them simply existing in whatever it is that they're dealing with.
And with like with the shifting definitions, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? Like now the people who go, oh, I have a situational disability, I'm gonna fly the disabled pride flag. It's like, what are you doing? You just have a cat. Like you have a cat.
AmericanDisability.com. Like this is awful. This is horrible. This is an SNL level of like taking disabled people down a peg. Okay.
You see what I mean by how patronizing this is?
Oh yeah, we'll read it right here. So it ignites the mourning of disabled persons victimized by ableism or lost by disability-fueled violence. Because when you see a person in a wheelchair, you just gotta beat him to fucking death. Like it's done. It is on sight. I'm
just gonna smash their wheelchair in the paste.
Like, honest question, like, and I'm saying this to our viewers, to the panel, to our detractors who are maybe looking through the stream for like a clip to cancel us or whatever. I don't care.
By now.
Oh yeah, they've had it. This is your gold mine. I recognize that. Damn, now I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
Look, here's the thing: outside of like the occasional like autistic kid getting beat up at like a school, and situations where that happens, that kid usually gets his ass kicked because even at like the grade school level, people have always known it's not cool to beat up disabled kids. Like that's the one thing you don't do. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
I was gonna ask. Like, has there ever been a noted like some like attack movement against disabled people? Like not really.
Even bullies don't go after disabled people because it's like even they know that that's like the lowest end of the totem pole. It's like, well, there's no honor of like picking after a kid like in a wheelchair who can't like physically defend himself. It's like even they know that that's fucking bitch made.
That's literally, remember that Shazam 1, like they literally used that as a plot point because they were like, how do we sell that these bullies are really just like the worst? We'll have them beat up the disabled kid. Like that was the whole point. Like, it is the lowest of the low. So
these people on this website are pretty much the bullies. Okay, so here we go. It says the light connected by the bands of stripes cut through the darkness. The slanted formation is symbolic contrast to the vertical walls and horizontal ceilings that resonate with the feelings of isolation among members of the disabled community. Yes.
So wow, that almost sounded like a point.
Well, how else are walls supposed to work, right? Are they supposed to be vertical ceilings and horizontal walls?
These people don't like. Here's the thing.
Are Mexicans trying to climb over these walls?
Here's the thing. I've had to deal with this all my life, or for the majority of my life. Because my disability is invisible. People don't take me serious. Don't consider me disabled because of that. And because of that, I don't get services. They in some cases, and it's really frustrating.
I will say this, Nerdigans, as someone who has known you for a while, if anyone was in the same room with you for 5 minutes, they would know you are definitely not making any of your disabilities up.
That's mean.
But it's also true.
And while we're looking at the Americans with Disability website, Jacob, golly. So here we go. So we don't need to pay.
The irony is not lost on me that I just became the guy I was just slamming literally 30 seconds ago.
There you go. I was just gonna say, like, we'll wait, you'll get it. But we don't need to know what these mean, okay? The colors mean. I just want to point out that like the final line, like you are fucked. All right, you are at the bottom of the disabled pile.
People with actual physical disabilities
what the hell?
are somehow on the. You think they would be the
final line.
foundation of like this entire movement?
Like, it doesn't get any worse than physical disabilities, dude.
You
are the
hear that, all you
final
people
line.
with MS?
After you,
lot higher
it's
on the
into the
totem
black
pole.
void, motherfucker. It's off into the abyss.
Well, on the old one, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole.
Right, this
There's
thing
an
is
old
so
one. Like,
mean.
is there an older version?
Yeah,
The zigzag one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is
Until they
so
realize, like, oh,
mean.
this looks like stairs.
This
It-
is
it, like,
awful, dude. Like,
we see it
man,
all the time, right? Where it's like in the ultra liberal attempts to be allies or celebrate these things, they end up being like way more offensive than Jacob, right? Like Jacob being a bully right there. Like like that is way worse. And they're trying to do it under the guise of like, we're on your side. We want to
They're
care about
not.
you.
They don't care about mental illnesses like mine. In fact, they want to have it so they created this artificial shortage. That's why I will have times where I go through withdrawal and it sucks. It is the worst.
Was that for
thing
the pain or the bipolar?
This is what Adderall withdrawal. It is the worst
okay.
thing.
Ooh,
Worst
I
thing
can
ever.
imagine.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
what's this?
It used to be really bad before I luckily switched to generic to Israeli generic. I know it's
I know what this is,
I
Jacob.
know.
I just remembered what this is.
Oh, this is what we like to call a certified hood classic. So here we go.
Oh,
I
it's my
got
favorite.
one question, man. Tell me who next. This nigga salt like a nigga who just give me the best. See, I'm the best, man.
Man,
I did it.
And he wins.
Yep.
I'm the best, man. I did it. I've loved that video forever. But yeah, that's where we're at here.
It's that vacant stare like that.
It's like, you can keep going, right?
It's like, no, I did it.
Mhm.
I did it.
He said what he needed to say.
Mhm. Speaking of saying what you need to say,
let's get back. Yeah, let's get back into what we're supposed to be talking about here.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
also a really good topic.
Yeah, Spencer, I almost forgot to say I was mind blown by that too. Like I was looking through Twitter one day, seeing if there was any more Pride like pandering.
Oh, the disabled stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
amazing.
I guess it's been a thing since 1990, according to the American
Nope,
Disabilities
that's
Act.
wrong.
But
It was 2019 with the disability flag. From what
I
saw.
100% believe that. Do not
They're
even
trying to
like.
you know what the funny thing is like the majority of these people are not even including that George H.W. Bush signed the act. They don't want to associate it with him.
White man bad, but like that's
White
that's what it is.
Republican
I wouldn't want to associate with the FBI either.
Well, now we're getting into mine and Jacob's new series, Tinfoil Hat. Join us on Tuesday nights from our bunkers.
Dude, you're legit. Like that's nitro for YouTube. Okay, like that's nitro fuel. If you're legit, we need to start a conspiracy
Let's talk
channel
about the fact that
now.
Hollywood made a movie where they basically admitted the moon landing was in fact fake. So that's
Yeah, what the hell? Like that reminded me of Eyes Wide Shut, like the exact same thing, right? Like he's just saying it out there.
Oh, there's definitely not high-powered secret societies out there having like group orgies to worship demon gods held in secret. No, that doesn't happen in real life at all. Don't mind any fact that Stanley Cooper died before the film was ever released, and then like 29 minutes of footage got cut from the movie. Don't think too far into it at all. I'm pretty sure it was all a coincidence.
But to that point about George W. Bush bad, white man bad, Japanese man good, or a black man good if you are Ubisoft. So in case you guys didn't catch this story, it's been making the rounds across social media this week. It's one of the bigger topics. Japan is not happy with Assassin's Creed Shadows. So if you guys don't remember, just quick refresher, Assassin's Creed Shadows, next entry in the series coming out. It's starring two protagonists, one a Japanese female ninja named Naue, the other a highly fictionalized version of the actual historical Yasuke, who was not a samurai but basically a sword bearer. yeah, we've talked about on the stream pretty much every week since it was announced, like all the various problems with the game, from the thing I always bring up, which is the servant sitting on the same level as Oda, to what Jacob, or to what Cider always brings up with the hip hop soundtrack given to his fights. Like, it is a real big mess. It's sort of like, it's just been a disaster, and Japan is not really having it. So earlier this week, again, like, I recognize that this is just a change.org petition, but it sort of shows you the sentiment of what people are feeling. Japanese players launched a petition on change.org to have Ubisoft straight up cancel Assassin's Creed Shadow, calling it, an insult to their culture, disrespectful. They're not happy. And it was actually really interesting reading it, because these Japanese players raised a really interesting point that I hadn't thought of. And side note, you'll see a lot of detractors talking about the story, going like, oh, all the people who are signing this are like white people. Look at this. Look at that name. That's a guy from America. And it's like, yeah, it's getting signatures now that it's making the rounds. But this thing, like, when I covered it for Bounding, it was basically primarily Japanese people. But one of the things that they brought up is, they're not happy that, of course, the first time we get a Japanese Assassin's Creed game, we don't get to have the Japanese, like a male samurai who's Japanese. He has to be a black guy because progress. But an interesting thing they brought up was, like, if you put this game out here with this narrative, people are going to start thinking that Japanese people intentionally hid the history of Yasuke. And that's going to lead to accusations of racism against us for something we didn't do. And I'm like, I'd never thought about
because
that. But that's
it's not like the relations between Asians and blacks is already in great standing.
Right? Yeah. That too, dude. Like, I was just like, when they first announced it, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna let the respective tribes fight this out, like the Asians and the blacks, because
and now the Japanese are going to get blamed for stuff the Koreans did, and they're going to realize they're not the same group.
and then you'll get some theory like, power and location equals Asian, or some bullcrap like that. But yeah, so Japan's not having it. This petition, it had a goal of 25,000 signatures. It blew past that, like 30,000 yesterday when Cider covered it for the channel. I have no idea what it's even at right now. It's probably way past that. But yeah, like, they're not happy with this, to nobody's surprise. I don't know, like, personally, I don't know if, like, I wouldn't say cancel the game, right? I would sort of go, let them, like, put it out there and see what happens. It's not like, I don't see this game doing that hot. I don't see it being received that well. And this is on top, like, we haven't even gotten to the gameplay stuff, like the microtransaction stuff, the season pass stuff. Like, there's nothing here that, to me at least, inspires any sort of like super big explosive takeoff, aside from the fact that it's Assassin's Creed. If it wasn't Assassin's Creed, this game probably would not have any near like the level of support it currently has. Like, I would bet hard
if this was just generic Black Ninja game number 7, no one would really even be giving this thing any thought whatsoever.
Nobody would. But it had to be Assassin's Creed. It had to be, like, the bit that really gets to me, and I bring it up all the time, is like, every entry gets to have their protagonists be of that, like the ethnicity of the setting you're in, except for, of course, the 2 Black Flag, but that makes sense because British were in the Caribbean. And then one of them is like Ezio goes to Istanbul, whatever. Side mission, that's fine. But like, here, you get, we have the Japanese ninja, but samurai, finally. No, you get the black guy. You have to get the one black guy that barely existed, and we're gonna buff up his mystique, his reputation, I guess. I don't even know what word I'm trying to go for, but
and they're forcing you to play as him too, even though the CEO is like, oh no, you get to the CEO said you get to choose the path you want. It's like, no, you're lying. You are lying, sir.
So he's lying, but not like, so okay. I was watching some gameplay the other day looking for images for the article, and there are moments, I guess, where it's like, oh, our next mission is to attack the castle. And Yasuke will be like, all right, let's like go in slashing. And Naoe will be like, no, we need to go stealth. And the game will go, who do you want to play as, 1 or 2? the thing is, like, yes, you're choosing who to play as, but that's not getting to choose your character per se. It's sort of like, which level do you want to play? Do you want to play the stealth level, or you want to play the more action oriented level? So it is a disingenuous claim at best. Like, again, what was that wording, Cider? They do this all the time over there at Ubisoft with this game. We want non-Japanese eyes for this game, right. And they go and they edit it out and say no. Like, oh, we never said that.
Oh, and I'm hoping you read the statement, or the statement he made, the Ubisoft CEO made. He said that he stands by his team, all of his team's creative decisions, all of it. Sure. So
yeah,
whatever they do, he's standing by it, supports it no matter what, despite everyone's criticisms.
And I always lean back on my theory that they did this because Assassin's Creed as a brand had faded quite a bit. I think it's been almost 10 years since the last Assassin's Creed, right?
The last big one, I think like 2 years ago, they did a smaller one that wasn't as big open world, and it was more like story based. But yeah, it doesn't have the same impact it does 10 years ago,
I guess. But what I'm getting at is that, like, the only way to get over the hurdle of the ad blockers that pretty much everybody has now, either paid or, found on the internet.
Yeah.
The only way to do it is to do these sensational things, right? And I'm not saying that Bounding and other places like Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic need to stop talking about this stuff, but it's how this stuff gets around. You as the audience listening to this otherwise probably wouldn't have known this Assassin's Creed Shadows game even existed if we weren't reporting on it. And this is what these companies do this dumb stuff for, is because they build this stuff into the game in order to make sure that people like us talk about it and spread it around where it can't get because of the ad blocker wall.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about the ad blocker wall point.
Right.
Like,
and it's not bad that we talk about it, because we've got to. Otherwise there's nobody out here saying, like, wait a minute, this dude had a real life and it mattered. This is a real person, by the way. Yasuke is a real human being that walked the earth that they're now, like, completely recontextualizing. This would be, again, you can't just take somebody's life that really existed and do this. Just make a new character. And they did anyway. This isn't Yasuke as he walked the earth in the 1500s. This is some hyper-realized, not even a version of him. It's just a guy that has his name in the same time period.
That is literally it, yeah.
This is the
they should have just called him Jeff.
I'd play a game
exactly.
where I was a samurai
Jeff the Black
Jeff.
Samurai, and he washed ashore when a slaver ship sank. It makes more sense than trying to tell everybody that's fucking Yasuke.
Yes. No, like I completely agree with that, because like I know we would have all we all would have made fun of it still. We'd all still be complaining about it if they were like original character black guy samurai, and they would have gone, oh, he was inspired by Yasuke, and we would have been like, we get it, you're trying too hard. We'd still have the same criticisms, but it's that this is the first time that you play as a historical person, right? Regardless of how accurate it is to who Yasuke actually was, you've never had to take control of a historical figure. Yes, you kill people, but they were never presented as the secret hero, yada, 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 yada. So I think
playable character.
Yeah, playable character. I think it's that bit to it makes it, that like really sours it in my mouth. Like that just makes it feel really...
I don't want to play a game as George Washington. I don't want to play a game as Abraham Lincoln. I don't want to play.
What are you, some kind of commie?
I was gonna say.
I don't want to play a game as Stalin or Hitler either. You know, I don't like that. I like having a fictional character.
Hold on a second. Are you telling me that if they made Hitler a killer on Dead by Daylight, that you wouldn't play that game?
I wouldn't.
Shit.
If they made him an assassin in Assassin's Creed World War II, like Assassin's Creed 88,
yes,
right? That's what they call it, is Assassin's Creed 88. Yeah, I'd at least watch Let's Play footage, but I'd probably not own that. You know, I probably wouldn't have that in my house. But yeah, that's all that's left
simulator?
For him, though.
No,
well, that's all that's left.
No commie simulator for Cider.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you know, the downloadable Stalin skin isn't for me, you know. But the many Stalin skins. But See, this is the problem, is that after this, where does Ubisoft go? How do you outdo this to get audience attention again? With Hitler. You've got to go to World War II and finally give the audience the World War II Assassin's Creed that they have been barking about since number 1 came out. That they needed an Assassin's Creed set in World War II.
But like, that, like, so that was a really interesting thing you just said, though. Like, everybody wants a World War II one for a while, and it's true, they have, but they also wanted a Japanese one for a while. Like, that was like, we gotta be ninja, and look what happened when we finally got it. So like, yeah. So yes, I think you're right, Cider. That's where they got to go, but you got to go deeper. What stunt are they going to try and pull to get the eyes on the game? What are they going to say? Like, they're going to make whoever saves like the assassin who like liberates
Jacob.
all the camps is going to be a black guy.
Jacob,
Like,
are you thinking the same thing I am?
Do I want to make you point this out right
They're
now?
gonna make Anne Frank.
I'm
Anne
not here.
Frank's gonna be the ninja assassin. It's gonna be Anne Frank. She eagle dives out the window out of the attic and just starts slicing them all to pieces and shit.
The game's collectibles are the diary pages. That's what
exactly. You gotta collect all Anne Frank's diary pages.
Just Anne Frank riding a tank with Flight of the Valkyries playing in the background.
And she's got
Day one sale.
The horse harness, right? So she's on the barrel, riding it like that. Like, bang, 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 bang.
Like Dr. Strangelove. Hell yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. But that's what they have to do. That's all that's left now. You can't just go this hard in the paint over this and then pirouette back into normal behavior. They've even said they're going to remake the old games with a modern influence.
That's what they're doing. Woof.
Speaking of modern influences.
Here's another certified.
I mean, that's like the Ubisoft development mentality, I feel like, at this point. Like, that wasn't right. Oh, so that means you're a racist then, huh? It's like, what? That's a good, like Nerdigan said, like, no, what are you talking about? That's a completely different sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mitch Ryan, my hero's the guy who shot Hitler. Yeah.
The greatest hero Germany ever saw.
But
it gets worse, dude.
They can't do this and go as hard as they did in this, and then what are they going to do? Pol Pot's massacre, the Boxer Rebellion. I mean, there's nothing left.
There isn't, and you sort of just hit on what their strategy is going to be. They've gotten to this point. What do? We go back to the old ones and we redo those ones. And again, like we know, they're not just giving it a new coat of paint or quality of life.
It for the modern audience.
They literally said, like, we want to update this for modern audiences. So it's like, there we go.
I've seen fans say that, like, for the older Assassin's Creed games, that they were a little glitchy and they would like to see them like improve the controls.
The faces disappeared in Odyssey.
It's like PS1 graphics.
Improve the graphics, like they said, they were saying like the original Assassin's Creed, like, fine, give them a remaster because they need it bad. But other than that, like the newer ones, they don't need it. Unless you want to talk about maybe some gameplay, maybe.
But like,
I would say Assassin's Creed 3 doesn't even need it. What are you going to modernize about that?
You've got to change, and that's the thing is like you guys right now you're focusing on like what do they do to the gameplay. It's not going to be the gameplay per se. It's going to be Connor now has a side mission where he has to fight with a very blatant like stand-in for colonial like violence. It's stuff like that. Yeah. It's like, we're going to change. General Custer will be there, or they'll change a whatchamacallit, like an info page, like a data entry. Okay, my dogs are going nuts. I have no idea what's going on. I gotta go.
Yeah, go check that out, man.
But yeah, he's right. Warning in there instead.
Well, yeah, he's right. But the other thing is that they'll remaster these and they'll also insert like now Ezio's gay. He's just gay now. That's how he becomes a Templar. He's just fucking dudes, and then he's like, oh, you know what? I want to kill him instead. Black. And that's how he does it. And that'll be how they do it. I can't wait to see how they handle Jerusalem. I can't wait to see how they handle modernizing that one. I wonder if the Templar are going to be the bad guys in that remake, fellas, or if there's going to be a new group of people that have a sword swinging problem.
You know, it's funny with all the modern adaptations saying that were the bad guys really the bad guys the whole time. Well, they don't do that with a certain group from the 1930s and 40s. It's just weird how we haven't produced the. Actually,
guys are always
maybe
the bad guys. Isn't that weird?
That's right.
Like we gave a redemption arc to Maleficent, who literally turns into a fucking dragon. Okay,
Exactly.
right? She eats people, and we gave her a redemption
Like,
arc.
oh, she's a good guy now. It's like, is he?
Yeah, right. Now we're revisiting history. We got to modernize it. So we got to make sure that all those ancient Romans who got slaughtered by Ezio, they weren't really that bad. They were just casualties of their association with the Templar. It's amazing. It really is. It's amazing. And we're gonna live through it. That's the thing. We're gonna live through it. And this is gonna keep happening though. Like I have a feeling that these remakes are gonna test like what the existing audience is, because they're already predicting disaster. That's why they're saying they're gonna come out and do this. But I've also heard rumor, right?
Yeah.
That they're gonna put a white guy in here.
Oh, I
They're gonna
wonder
have a
he'll
day
be the
one
bad guy.
patch. Well, no, they're gonna have a
They
day one
always
patch.
are now.
Well, no. The rumor, and this is unconfirmed. The rumor that's going around Twitter is that there's a day one patch that you'll get to play this third protagonist is a white guy. So we missed the mark again. We went from the black guy making Yasuke, and we just totally like William Adams or Adams, yeah, whatever that guy was. The character that Tom Cruise himself will just be the protagonist. It'll just be Tom Cruise.
It's just
from
Tom Cruise
2024 with a sword. You know?
Yeah, it'll just be Tom Cruise.
And he's on a motorcycle, you know? And that'll just be the third protagonist.
Well, at some point, because he has to have a stunt, he'll be like riding on the back of like a plane that's thousands of feet in the sky for some weird reason. Then he'll have to do like a backflip off of a motorcycle off the plane and then land at the very last second. Because that's apparently what's required from you when you're a Scientologist.
Yeah, well, we have Grumblings Media here. He says, storylines are woke is what you're saying. When I saw the Far Cry one a couple of years ago, I realized that. And you're right, that Far Cry 4 was like blatantly anti-American. Like they put the villains are literally having a Last Supper on the cover with the American flag as the dinner table blanket.
Like I said, that was like around the time of Trump when people stopped being subtle about who they hate and despise. So
right, what they really think of the world. That's true. And it's true. And I don't think I don't remember a lot of people playing it. Even the Let's Players that I watched did like 2 episodes of it and dropped Far Cry 4. So yeah. Well, this is the thing too, guys. That new G.I. Joe book. So it Jake Skywalkered Duke, right? And then the other end, Cobra Commander's now a leader of MAGA. All of his supporters, white rednecks, gun-toting white rednecks are the Cobra troopers now. Yeah. And the G.I. Joes, well, they all have nice hands now.
It's always that now. They're always going. It's always going to be redneck villains.
Oh, and speaking of lady folk in the story, Baroness has abandoned Cobra, and now she's a good girl because she realized that racism is the ultimate evil, not killing.
What?
motherfuckers.
Is this real? Are you pulling my leg?
It's not that racism. She realized that part, but no. In the new G.I. Joe story, Duke is being hunted down by Cobra, by G.I. Joe rather. He's been Jake Skywalker. He's scruffy. He's old. He's over the hill. So they're hunting him down because he went crazy after seeing Starscream, where in the G.I. Joe setting they had never interacted with Transformers. So now he's on the run for this. Intermingled with this, they put out a comic book about the origins of Cobra Commander. In that origin book, Cobra Commander's first supporters are red hat wearing rednecks that are overweight that carry rifles to their public meeting.
Can't help themselves.
I wonder who that's a representation of.
Are you talking about the new like Skybound?
The new one from
like,
Skybound,
series,
yes.
right?
Well, Skybound.
That's crazy. I was like, when these series were starting, I heard that they were actually not that bad, but this sounds like they went way like off the deep end.
Well, that's just it. A Skybound's guy is from the Fear the Walking Dead. The one of the CEOs of Skybound is from Fear the Walking Dead, and Fear the Walking Dead was all about this intersectionality, this common plight of
I
systematic
can't even
racism,
imagine.
that zombies will pick on the black guy before they'll pick on the white guy, that kind of thing. It was all.
Was that a real thing?
Even the zombies are systematically racist.
Zombies are racist. Wait, hold on. Zombies are systematically racist now?
They didn't come out and say that you will get hunted down by zombies if you're black in the Fear the Walking Dead, but they made it explicitly clear that if more than 2 black people are together, they will be killed by the zombies. They have to
put it like
by a
this:
white
it's like,
person.
well, Atlanta was the epicenter of the zombie apocalypse. Guess who's the majority in Atlanta? Black people.
Right.
So black people are disproportionately black people are disproportionately more affected by the zombie apocalypse.
Right.
That's
Per
so
capita.
racist.
And that's what it is that's where this comes from. A Skybound is he's from that one of the CEOs to Skybound is from that team that talked about all this diversity within the Fear the Walking Dead series. That's why the G.I. Joe series is chock full of it. Guess what? By the way, G.I. Joe, they feature one white guy on the team. Everybody else is either a white woman or they're a ethnic man and one black guy. There's always just one black guy, by the way, and it's always Roadblock. There's never another black guy.
But like, did they race swap anybody, or they just decide to make the roster of all the non-white members?
Yeah, of all the non-whites. And again, like it seems that the whites went with Duke. The whites are working with Duke, I guess, and that's the current standing. Is Duke is a piece of shit, according to Joe's, and he's fighting, going nuts, having realized that Transformers are real. And
pardon me, I like that bit. I actually do like that idea of like, a soldier saw a Transformer and lost their mind. But like, weird to use Duke as that. Again, it's an interesting story on the wrong character. You could have used anybody else, make up a new Joe. If they really wanted to, they could have brought in, they could have made a comic book version of the kid from Rise of the Beast, the one who's getting recruited into Joe at the end of the movie. Like, you could have used him and had him freak out, but you don't. Yep. I don't know why you had to use Duke for that, especially because, like, if he's the leader, I would imagine him to have some level of wherewithal in the face of gigantic, crazy machinery, especially given what Cobra has. I feel like in the old G.I. Joe Transformers stuff, they would see a Transformer and just be like, oh, Cobra's got a new tank. And so it's just that feels. I think there's something there. I like the idea. This does not sound like they're doing it well. This sounds like a terrible execution.
Well, and again, it's not like blatant in your face, the kind of propaganda
of course
from Marvel and DC, but it's there.
Yeah.
Meaning they're still obeying that metric, and it's going to continue to skew harder and harder into that as the story progresses forward, because they can't avoid it. They have to do it. And the reason why I bring it up chiefly is because when you get down to what's good media out there that we can absorb, it's just slivers of what exists. It's not the whole product. There's no whole product that's safe to like enjoy anymore. You're gonna have stupid crap, even with G.I. Joe. Like, I don't know how you managed to squeeze this stuff in there, but they did. And it's in there, and you hit it, and you hit it like the speed bump at the bank. You're not paying attention. And it just bang, you're up against the roof of your car, like, okay, I'm sorry.
Whoa, where was that coming from? Yeah.
I'll pay attention from now on, you know.
Sorry. Yeah.
But, and you know, so RJ McReady says, so Duke is a white guy going nuts about trans people. Pretty close, but the main objective is
I get it.
Cobra in Duke's timeline, because this is separate from the Cobra Commanders, because we're looking at Cobra as he gets started. We're looking at Duke where he's dealing with the Transformers, different time setting. So with Duke going nuts over trans people, his situation is that Cobra's completely stratified now. There's 4 different factions to Cobra. And only one of those has anything to do with Cobra Commander. And so what he's experiencing is he's going around and seeing all these guys that are working with the various Transformers who have come to Earth, and now like Destro is exploiting a few of them, copying their designs and building weapons out of them. And Cobra find out that Cobra Commander has Megatron. Yeah, again, so fresh of an idea. Has Megatron like half broke down, and he electrifies him to pull information about Cybertron and the Transformers species out of his mind by force. And, oh, haha, so original. Megatron's the key of accelerating Earth's technology. Wow, so original. And so anyway, that's what's going on with the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover. What I expect for the movie to feature in this is that plot point. Duke goes nuts after seeing Starscream on an airfield, and that results in the Joes being led into conflict with Duke that leads him to exposing the Decepticons, who thus expose the Autobots. And there we are. That's how the movie will most likely go, is the hunt for Duke. G.I. Joe movie will end with Duke proving his innocence when Starscream stands up out front of the Joe base and starts opening
shows
fire.
off. Yeah.
Right. It starts
like
opening fire. And Duke could be like, I told you!
I knew it! I wasn't crazy! Like in Independence Day.
Right. Yeah.
See,
so
and like that to me, off the top, like, again, not awful in its premise, but I just know that if they're gonna do all this stuff, we're gonna get that scene where Duke goes into like a bar or whatever because he's wandering the American Southwest, and it's just, racist biker gang, and not just racist, but like MAGA biker gang and stuff like that, and like everybody's gonna have a red hat. It's gonna be annoying.
Duke will be by, and he goes and hangs out at this bar, and somebody cuffs him in the ass, and he goes, "Hey, grab the other cheek too. A little lonely, and that." So he's by.
I can see something like that,
and that's how they'll get their DEI points. But speaking of somebody who has some questionable sexuality, we have
who we got?
Ever-evolving saga of Dr. Disrespect here.
Yeah. So, let me do a little lead in for this. So, in case you guys didn't know, I'm sure you saw all the Dr. Disrespect stuff go down last week. We talked about it last week on stream. But in the interim, Cider has done a full write-up report on all the twists and turns that are happening with the story. And so, yeah, take it away, Cider. Let us know, because this is a new development. I didn't even know what to say to you when you said it. I kind of just went, huh.
So, if you're not aware, Dr. Disrespect is back in the spotlight again because of the information about his Twitch ban got out, and it has to deal with him having inappropriate communications with a minor. We don't know the age of that person. It has not been officially confirmed what the age of that person is. Could be 17, could be 7. I don't believe it's that low, but when he says minor, I don't know what to think. It's a little vague, and I find that to be a bit bothersome. So, without further ado, we'll go down here. Now, his real name, his legal name is I want to make sure I get it. Herschel Guy Beam the 5th, right? I have that 5th, right? Or 4th. What is that?
The 5th.
The 5th. Thank you. The doc, right? So he was very important to Call of Duty, like early culture. Back when streaming wasn't really a thing, we making videos, just playing the game and having a great time. The Dr. Disrespect character originated there. Not with the wig, not with the mustache. It was just sort of a thing that he would do when he was making his videos. And he got the attention of Sledgehammer, who was making the game at the time. Making the game. And so they brought him in as a community manager. And that's where he abandoned the Dr. Disrespect persona for a while. While he was working at Sledgehammer, they said they did not hire Dr. Disrespect. They hired Beam. They hired Guy Beam. And so the way this works is that he eventually worked his way into being a map designer for them. And that's where his notoriety really started to take off, because he would play the levels with other players that he had designed and show them the areas you could exploit. And so that they had purposely put in there to exploit. So again, he was doing very well. In 2015, he left Sledgehammer and went to become Dr. Disrespect again. Now, this is when his rise to fame, where everybody knows him from, came from. However, in 2017, he came out and said, I cheated on my wife at TwitchCon, and it was bad, and I'm going to take a hiatus for a few months to get my life back in order. The fan base was A-okay with that. They were like, yeah, all right, man, fame comes, you do stupid stuff, everybody's like that. So the fan base kind of took that in stride and accepted that he was going to do better in his life. He promised to do so, so they took him at his word. I have to remind you, this guy has like a folk hero status with gamers. That he like
real.
conquered the barrier of fan to maker to decider, you know? Like he became like what
Decider,
they
yeah.
make games about. They make games about Dr. Disrespect, or they did. And so that's the dream of a lot of these gamer guys, is to go out there and become so popular that games themselves are made about you, you know? And Dr. Disrespect had like, or Guy here had risen to that. And then of course, with that came the attention of lady folk. And now 2017 is also the year that in his dispute with Twitch has come out that this is when he was having these conversations with the minor, that the underage person. It was 2017. Now in 2017, this is when he said he cheated on his wife at TwitchCon. Now I'm not saying that this minor was the person he was cheating with, okay? But he never revealed the identity of this person. Now, I hope you're sitting down, okay? Because this one hits like a ton of bricks, all right? So we got through the whole, he admits to it that he had individual and private and inappropriate conversations with a minor. He, in his own words, said it. He did not go do anything illegal. I want to stress that. I know that Pinochet's had a helicopter tours last week. I got heated over it, and we were talking past each other. I'm very sorry about that. It's just a hot button topic.
It happens. Yeah.
But you're right. Nothing illegal happened.
Correct.
Everything moved on. What he did was reprehensible, but not illegal. Now, take a breath. This is the hard part.
Seriously.
This hits pretty hard. I'm trying not to smile through it because it does. It hits so hard. This right here, you look at as a private conversation that Dr. Disrespect had with an OnlyFans model who is trans. And he says
it just keeps getting better.
He's watching this person on a cam show that he has requested. You can go see this whole thing. It's linked in the article. You can go see the video of the recording, the video of the conversation. And so he's watching this person live, and he's talking about this and whatnot. Now he's asking for like directions on what to do with himself now that he's prepared to take off. Okay? So this is Lena Love that you're about to meet here. Now, again, I just want you to brace yourself, okay? This is who Doc went after, okay? He cheated on his wife with this dude, okay?
Dude.
Like, just take a minute and like, breathe that in, you know?
Soak it in, man.
Like
I guess this is what fame does to you?
Yeah, well, this is the price. This is, as I said with the title of the article, is that this is the fame that killed the FPS folk hero. Now, again, if you're wondering, like, oh no, this person could just be claiming this. No, here we are. This is 6'8" Doc with like 5 not 6'8" Lena. Okay, so you know this is the real Dr. Disrespect. He's almost 7 feet. Well, he is 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
So you know that's him because Lena's a dude. So that's not like a 5'2" woman there. All right, that's that is a dude. And yeah, this is who Dr. Disrespect was requesting cam shows. Now it gets even colder. Okay, so this is what Lena had to say about their interactions. He says, during that time in 2017, he, being Dr. Disrespect, was cheating on his wife with not only me, a trans sex worker, but also another woman, and texting a minor. He was exploiting me by making me give him cam shows with the promise of partnership. After the cam shows, this guy is gold. After the cam shows, he went ahead and blocked me.
That is some crazy level.
That's like some diabolical.
This is some cold stuff. Like, yeah, I saw your trans dick. I gotta go. I didn't think that was gonna bother me that much. I'm out. Bye.
but it's also like you block her, like it's still out there. The knowledge is there. You still did it. Like, I don't know. What a weird twist. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm just like, woof. Like, I did have to sit back and not knock over my green screen. But yeah, dude, it's such a wild development.
Like this, you step out on your wife for Lena. Like, come on, man. Come on.
It's, I mean, obviously, I don't know. Like, it happens a lot. I mean, the only thing I can say is, like, I don't understand the mentality. I don't think I'll ever understand that mentality. But I guess I hope you had fun, Doc. That's really all I can say off of this.
Yeah, good luck destroying the whole fabric of your family because you got the hornies for the trans guy. That's great.
Oh, that fabric's got to have been way blown since that first
destroyed,
or since the entire affair. Yeah,
good choice of words.
I know.
But, now, I do want to note that Disrespect has not returned to streaming since June 25th. Okay, he has not posted on Twitter either. I didn't go look at his likes to find out if he's out there doing anything. And so I closed the article out with this, though. Oh, wait, no, we did talk about this. He's lost his sponsorships with Turtle Beach, San Francisco 49ers, and Subway, I'd found out, by the way.
I didn't know he was a Subway partner. That was a really weird discovery for me, too.
Yep.
And Subway was like, hey, look, we've already gone through this once.
That's exactly like, they really know how to pick them.
Yeah. Did I save that picture? Please don't. Yes, I did. Hold on. Here we go. Mr. President, another pedophile has hit Subway. He's not a pedophile. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. We're not. He didn't do anything illegal.
For legal reasons, not the joke. For legal reasons,
instead of our little fair use button, we need like a joke button.
Yeah. So I closed out with this right here, and it says, "Be humble. Remember that you bleed red, not gold. Value your mortality, and never view yourself as a god. These words alone cannot prevent mistakes, but they can help keep you from making the same mistakes as Dr. Disrespect."
I mean, it's the best way to end it out. To me, it reminds, like, I like how it links back to what you said at the very beginning, where you were like, everyone makes mistakes, but the certain mistake is like, it's based on the individual. So yeah, like we all said, like, good luck, Doc. I mean, you did this. It's your bed to lie in now. It's a lot. This cannot be the end of the saga. I'm sure more stuff will eventually drop because, yeah, like every week something new is coming out. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, you don't need to throw away your family for this.
No. Yeah. Hey, it's me and HD, Dr. Trans Respectful.
More than respect, if you would.
But that's what it is, is there, Dr. Trans Inspector. There we go.
There you go. That was his new job.
Yeah, right. But that's what it is.
He won't get to do anymore.
It's the power. It happens to all these guys that grow way too fast and don't take that power responsibly, really. When you look at Elvis, look at the Beatles, look at Michael Jackson, anytime a man rises to any social prominence, waves of women will throw themselves at him, and he has to make the decision to stay away from that because there's a lot of not thinking happening with people who are rampant appreciators of these male icons. And we can't assume that a minor understands that they can't have these conversations with an adult. How many young women do you know that are in a hurry to be a woman?
I don't know any of them because I don't talk to them. I don't talk to teenagers.
Well, that's just what it is. It's like when I was growing up, most of the teenage girls wanted to just get it over with and be the adult woman. They were bored of being a teenager. And that again, like that's something that you have to remember when you rise to power, is that not everybody shares your morality. So when you get a message from somebody who just wants to talk to you, that's great. You don't know them. Leave them alone. If you don't game with them, if you don't know them in real life, if they're not your friend, follower, or whatever, don't interact with them. And I have this to say, right? This final big takeaway. I learned this just a few years ago, right? Internet pussy is the devil. I'm just telling you. Internet
No,
pussy is the devil.
truer words, my friend. Truer words.
Nowhere in real life, man. You're gonna really appreciate it a lot better than meeting an avatar on the internet. You know, and that's just the key to it. Some online relationships work out. Don't get me wrong, but by and large, as Lena has demonstrated, right? Wink, wink. Lena, wink, wink. Internet
Wink,
pussy
wink.
is the devil.
No, I think
if I elaborate
that's
any
the
further, this show will be absolutely
right.
dick
Yeah.
off.
It already is, you know.
But no, I think that was a perfect summary of everything that's happening. Like I said, this latest development is just so wild. Good luck to him. This is all on him. And yeah, be careful out there, guys. Look out for yourself. You are not the main character ever. Like, let's just put it that way. You are not the main character for anything. None of us are. But yeah, with that, let's see. We're a little over our 2-hour limit. Anybody else have anything in particular they want to talk about?
I'm surprised you didn't want to talk about the Kamen Rider movie that got announced.
I mean, that is, I didn't bring it up because that's more of a little niche topic that me and Cider would probably keep everybody here for like 3 hours for.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kamen Rider Fudo PI, the anime adaptation of the manga sequel to Kamen Rider W is getting an anime movie. It looks fantastic. I'm super excited about that. Yeah, that's really all. Again, if you guys wanted a Toku stream, I'm sure Cider and I could make it happen. But I didn't want to bore everybody here with that.
It would be several hours of us.
Yeah, we would be going.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I guess the last quick thing that we should probably touch on, just to give everybody a lay of the land of where we are, is and this is a good story because I know Jacob's got thoughts on it. We are seeing the monopolization, the collapse of everything into a single entity, because we didn't write an article on this yet because it's one of those big trade stories that everybody was going to have before us. But yeah, Paramount and Skydance they're back in merger talks, and not just back in talks, they're about to seal the deal. So again, everything is just becoming more homogenized. All of your movies in 10 years will be produced by 3 people or 3 studios.
No,
and we're all going to have
2 at this point.
Just 3 people.
Yeah, just 3. Yeah, 2 at this point, if how things are going. Yeah,
2
it's
people
not
plus the corpse of Steven Spielberg on stilts. So yeah.
If we're that lucky, they'll just AI him and say, Steven,
true.
good or no?
It needs more background floodlight.
No, right. But yeah, so that's what's coming for Paramount. Yeah.
What about the new Spider-Man that got announced? Did you want to at least mention
what Spider-Man?
I posted it in the private chat.
One.
Oh shoot. Yeah, of course we'll talk about it. What are we looking at?
This is the Spider-Man that's replacing the Zeb Wells run.
Well, it's not. It's a follow-up because this is a mini, it looks like. So unfortunately, Joe Kelly won't be taking off as the main writer for Amazing yet. We don't know who it is, but I need it to be anybody but Zeb Wells. I'll even take Dan Slott back at this point. But
was that bad?
It's an awful book. It is one of the worst comic books, and not because of agenda or message that we all complain about. Like, this is a badly written book. Like, it is absolutely terrible.
I think the word you're looking for is dog water.
It's a little more harsh than water. It's brown dog water, if you will. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, to your point, Nerdigans, and to everybody here, like, I'm pretty excited about this. I like Joe Kelly as a writer. He's consistently delivered. Ed McGuinness is one of the best artists still working today. We'll have to see how it plays out. I really don't trust Marvel to do anything with Spider-Man that isn't Ultimate right now, because we see how it all plays out. But like I said, anything's better than what we're currently getting over with Amazing. So once this starts dropping, I bet it will outpace and outsell Amazing 400 to 1. So that's my biggest real takeaway from this one. But yeah, with Spider-Man, with Paramount collapsing upon itself, I think that's probably a perfect spot for us to call it tonight. As always, guys, thank you for hanging out with us through our dumb fast food ranting, through our dumb disability pride detour. I know we got a little off topic, but we had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun hanging out with us. As always, before we officially get out of here, I'm going to let you know what they've got going on, starting as always with Jacob. Jacob, let them know.
Well, believe it or not, I got a little bit of stuff going on. So this coming Friday, we're going to be doing our review of the film Maxine. We'll be talking about the film Pearl and X, kind of bringing the whole thing together. That'll be Friday night on 10 p.m. over at Society Reviews channel. Sunday, we have our next episode of the Bible Lens podcast. We're going to be talking about the fake Christ of the world that people put their faith into, which is not going to lead them to the promised land. I'll just put it that way. We'll expose all the fake Christs that are presented to us in the world. And then next Tuesday, I forgot to mention this last night. I should have. I completely slipped my mind. There actually is not going to be a bar room next Tuesday.
No!
We're taking a week break, so there won't be any streams next week. So like I said, I got to stream Friday night, Sunday night, and then we're going to take like a week break. Won't be able to do a stream here. I probably won't be here next week either. So I'm probably you're probably not going to see me here for at least 1 week, but then I'll be back the week afterwards. So no, it won't be a complete exile. So, and then of course if you haven't noticed over at the Bounding in the Comics YouTube, I've had a crap ton of reviews that have come out there, and you'll probably see a crap ton more over the next several days. So
Yeah.
get ready for that.
Yeah, lots of great stuff coming out of Jacob for Bounding. As always, go follow all of his stuff. I'm sure you guys all heard me in the back screaming in pain because I don't know what I'm going to do next. I need your streams. I like watching your streams while I work. So now I got to find something to do. But anyway, I'm glad you're taking your break off. You damn well deserve it because you are very hard working at all of this stuff.
Yeah, right.
Nerdigans, let us know. What have you got going on? So over the past week, I started doing my Patreon exclusive anime coverage of Suicide Squad Isekai. And on my channel, Nerdigans Inc., I cover anime and manga every day. We're going to start doing our Anime Expo coverage tomorrow, and any stories that are significant, like for Bleach, for example, we'll probably be covering for Bounding as well. There was something else that I was going to bring up, and I just totally forgot. Oh my god!
No worries. A review. You're gonna read something.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm doing the researching for Demon Slayer. I'm doing the impossible, which is trying to find out why Katoge ended the manga back in 2020, because it's really interesting that out of all the series to have like a cinematic trilogy for their finale and not have 1,000-year blood war treatment, it'd be Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, if you've read the manga, and especially when it was being serialized in 2020, you know that it was mysteriously concluded really quick. The rumors are there was a family emergency, but those were debunked. So something else is going on. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. But anyways, I have more anime reviews I'm going to be doing for Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. I found out that Katrina is doing the localization for 2.5D Seduction. So I am going to be covering that.
Yes.
On Patreon as well. So I'm not looking forward to being tortured by that horrible localization.
How is it going over there on your Patreon? Are you getting a lot of attention? Is it picking up?
No, not yet, really.
Then change it. We're gonna change it. Everybody, right now, get up. Like, don't even listen to me, Insider. Go over to her Patreon, subscribe. Yeah. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, this is something I finally am changing up my Patreon. It's been too long since I did well. Ever since my significant other died, everything went to hell. And I'm finally rebuilding my Patreon. So like for $5 a month, you'll have access to all of my anime live reactions, and you'll be able to see everything on the screen with the anime and manga side by side. And as I said, Suicide Squad Isekai episodes 1 through 3 are live right now. And so
you want quick tease? What are you thinking so far? Quick review. 1 second.
Suicide Squad Isekai. Oh
yeah, so far. What do you like?
So far,
good, bad?
I like it so far. I would say Clayface is definitely the star of Suicide Squad Isekai. He is just so awesome, and I think Tappe is having so much fun with him. You could tell in the writing with the fourth wall breaks, and I'm like,
it seems like they're all having a lot of
thinking
fun.
to myself, like, I feel like Tappe is kind of roasting Warner Brothers through Clayface, and he is not happy with Warner Brothers.
Well, who could blame him? They're not exactly the easiest studio to work with nowadays.
No.
I do not blame him at all.
Hey, it's only going to be a matter of time before they get swallowed up by Comcast. So don't worry, people.
Right, exactly.
Comcast.
The other character, of course, that I got to mention that has been really blowing my mind is Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Peacemaker's been good too. And the thing that's great about Suicide Squad Isekai, it's kind of giving, like, in terms of structure, it's a lot like Drifters, where if you know about Drifters, is it's they bring in historical characters from history, and they fight on different sides of the battlefield. That's what this kind of is in terms of like in terms of structure, where you see Ratcatcher and Enchantress, and King Croc. They're fighting on a different side. And then, Harley Quinn and the rest are fighting on another side. Like, that's what it's kind of giving in terms of structure. But I wish the animation was better, though. Wit is not giving me what I want.
That's too bad.
It's a little bit stiff, but
hopefully it picks up. At least the writing seems to be good. But
I will say this,
that's
though,
more than we can hope for these days.
But Jason DeMarco is producing it, so it should be on Toonami.
Yeah, that's Toonami. That's we all know that guy. But yeah, glad to know that it's we're at least getting something good featuring those characters, even if it is maybe like a 6 or 7 so far. Guys, go subscribe to her stuff, follow her. She's got the info. She knows what she's talking about. While you're doing that, let's throw it over to the main man himself, Cider, and he can let you guys know what he's got going on.
Videos. Nah, just guys like over here on Bounding. Over here on Bounding, we're doing coverage of like video games at the moment. A lot of news going on with that. Not a lot of news with comics. There is rumor about the Deadpool and Wolverine movie having the Hulk versus Wolverine in it. I don't really feel like making a video on that until we have something substantially confirmed about that. However, we did learn tonight that Neil Gaiman has been accused of being a very hands-on kind of lover.
Yeah.
So most likely going to be covering that.
Yep, that's pretty much the topic du jour. So yeah, check out go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Obviously, if you're here, you clearly know where you can find it. Cider has been killing it on the videos. You can see we're growing like exponentially thanks to his work. He's also started to write a couple pieces for us over on Bounding to sort of help out with the workload. His pieces are amazing. He will tell you that he's not like professionally trained or that good of a writer, but damn it, I know a good writer when I see one. He's killing it. So check out all the stuff he is putting out. And then as for myself, guys, I just want to thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We couldn't do this if it weren't for you. So your viewership, your support means everything to us. As always, check out boundingintocomics.com every day for new news. Check out our Twitter. Check out Cider's work on the video side. Go subscribe to Nerdigan's Patreon. Go subscribe to Jacob's YouTubes because he's always doing stuff. As for us, next you can come back and see us next week for another 01 episode on Wednesday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. 9:00 Eastern time, where it will be me, Cider, Nerdigans, clearly not Jacob for next week, which is all right. But also Josh, we will be back. We'll be breaking down the big news of the week. Hope to see you there. If you want to see more of me personally, you can obviously follow me on Twitter at Kabuto Writer Mav. You can also follow me over on my YouTube channel, Studio Kabuto. Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I host a live stream where I kind of just hang out, kick back, talk about whatever topics in general geekdom you guys want to talk about. That sounds up your alley. Come hang out with us. Also, I am working with a couple people, WDW Pro, Jonas J. Campbell, Culture Casino. You guys might recognize him. You love him. We are launching a sister project to That Park Place called That Game Place. So I am over there being the resident weeb correspondent. So if you guys need any video game updates and you want to know what's going on from that perspective, check us out. We got a great crew over there. Marvin the Monster, Nolan Thunder. The guys rule. But yeah, that's what we've all got going on. With that, I think we'll say goodnight, and hopefully Cider can do a better outro for us than I did last week, because I really screwed that one up.
No problem.